guys.
We were.
You were standing around shooting the shit with Yananlis, the dancing
very
expert,
good.
I believe, and who's into syncopation, and sitting on the B disc of the city of Wiz, which is spelled with a WH there, Kaitlin.
She's gone.
Oh well. So what now?
What now, brown cow?
You have 10 hours until the portal in the dark opens up to the fringe paths.
Well, we had talked about going and talking to the guy who thinks odd things.
You're talking about Artandro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I think we had gone over there.
Not yet.
We talked about the
You're too
spiders in
busy
the
getting
cages
your
outside
tea and stuff.
What's that?
You were too busy getting your tea. Drinking tea.
Yep.
Right, but then you had said we go up to the building and he's got like cages of spiders and whatnots.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize that you'd
that.
actually reached it. Okay, yeah, sure. All right.
I'm rapidly thinking that this is not going to really get us anywhere, but
okay.
Nobody here seems to have any more answers than anybody else did.
All right.
Didn't look like it.
Okay. You go inside and you see Artandro hanging upside down with his foot through a toe stirrup. Basically, he's got like a little hangman's noose around his big toe. He's upside down with one of his legs at a right angle, knee to the other leg.
So he thinks he's the hanged man from the tarot?
Yes, he looks very much like the hangman of the tarot.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Isn't that hanging by your toe kind of painful?
One would think so.
Well, he doesn't seem to be in pain.
The gravity is weird here, and even
that's right.
aside from that, the gravity on this place is even lower.
Is it as low as the moon? You said,
I think it was lower.
Yeah. Oh, definitely less than the moon.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah. So you could be doing who is it? Neil Armstrong every single day.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, Neil Armstrong was carrying around an 80 pounds, survival pack. So
Sure.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true.
That's
But yeah, you could. So yeah, you're not really walking. You're more hopping. Like
they had kind of a
shuffle for mankind.
Kind of a shuffle hop. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you guys, if you recall, when you were with I've forgotten her name off the top of my head. The young lady that now hates your guts.
Not my fault. She's not my type.
Cat, whatever.
In no time did she actually offer to marry you, dude.
Well, then what did I do?
What did you do wrong? Oh, just like said, named her as a person that you all have been talking to before, before coming to see the wizard, as if she was some in go-between, and therefore she's basically in his sights. And you've already seen a couple of people basically get burned to death or frozen to death by the wizard for acting in ways he didn't like. So yeah, she's pretty pissed at you.
Yeah, we outed her.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But of course, we had no way of knowing that at the time.
Yeah, it's not my fault. How was I supposed to know?
Well, maybe when you were with her and her mother, and they were basically trying to understand who you were and where you came from, so that they could introduce you to the wizard in a manner that would benefit everybody, but
Sure.
that didn't seem to make any difference to you.
Well, the
So-
only way you're going to redeem yourself in her eyes is to put a grenade up the wizard's ass.
That sounds like fun. I'm
Yeah,
down.
Okay. Okay.
Kinky.
Mm.
anyways, so you're down below, and he's got all kinds of strange things in his room. There's something that looks like a big bubble, like like you blow out of a bubble maker, and it seems to be bouncing around the room a bit. And there's potted plants that are growing upside down, and there's a whole bunch of books and sheets with all kinds of crazy pictures on them.
Mm.
And he's just basically hanging her upside down, with his hands almost like he has invisible castanets, except he's not moving them, and just with his eyes shut, swaying back and forth in the breeze.
All right.
The top. This house is actually built like a big tall teepee with an opening in the top.
All right.
And the air blowing across the top of the chimney is the teepee or whatever is actually drawing air in from the bottom and lifting things up.
All right. Okay.
Should we hit
Mike,
him with the stick
Mike-
like a human pinata?
Mike shakes
Yeah, he's
him.
kind of like a human pinata. Sure.
Mike shakes him. Hey, wake up.
His eyes open. He looks around. He says, "You're not supposed to be here, or am I just imagining you?"
Both, actually.
Neither.
Ah,
Actually, we are here, and you're not imagining us.
well, that's not the same at all.
Exactly. Now,
So which
can
one
you
is
get-
it?
we're not supposed to be here.
Oh, you're not supposed to be here, and I'm not imagining you.
Correct.
Oh, how exciting!
Do you
Okay.
mind? Should we leave? I mean, we try to just knock on your door.
Well,
What a
we're already
revolutionary
here,
idea.
so,
I love revolutionary ideas.
we do
What,
too.
leaving
Yes.
or knocking on the door?
Did you know it's possible for women to have orgasms, even though they don't have penises?
Yep.
My friend, I've had friends tell me that. Yes.
They laughed me out. They laughed me out of my village for that one.
Oh, gee.
I feel sorry for your village.
Yes.
What's the name of your village?
Oh, he's going to do this to me. Okay.
Apparently, it's the land of no joy.
One would think so. The land of the irritated women, I guess.
The land of no fucking shit, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, the grenade up the wizard's ass comment, that was just top tier. I was
Yeah.
dying in the kitchen when I heard that.
Yeah, sometimes the direct approach.
He
is
says,
the
"I'm
best
from
one.
Octorarder."
Oh, okay.
I'll let you spell that.
AUCHTERARDER.
Ah, Germantown.
Jawohl.
All right.
What is this flag you have behind you, Cole?
It's from Hearts of Iron 4.
Okay,
Kaiser
What is Hearts of Iron for?
a game.
It's a
Okay.
strategy game.
Alrighty.
It's basically set in World War II, but there's a mod where Kaiserreich, where it's set where Germany wins the First World War,
All right.
and then France, Britain, and Italy fall to syndicalists.
Yes. He says, well, I don't really blame them for, for what they did. And I've already forgiven them.
That's good.
Of course.
That's very good.
But, I mean, you can understand, right? I mean, if women should be having orgasms and they're not having orgasms, then their men are sinning against them. And
I agree.
And therefore, they would be going into the dark and they would lose them, especially their husbands.
I agree. Ben Shapiro is going into the dark.
So even the women didn't want to accept this idea. Even though it was such a lovely idea.
But you say that this idea would get people sent to the dark, but you're not in the dark, though.
No, I am not.
Surprise.
You've expressed the idea.
I am not disappointing women in bed. So therefore, I am not sinning against them. As a matter of fact, I considered having a vow of chastity. But then I realized that I wasn't disappointing myself, so really there was no reason for that.
Well, the way, as you know, the way to figure out new things is by experimentation and discovery.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But when you experiment on other people, then sometimes people get upset. And then
I can imagine.
And you have to be really,
Sure,
you have to be really a revolutionary in order to be willing to upset people in order to achieve progress, even greatness, if I might be so bold.
All right.
By the way, why are you upside down?
He's still upside down. No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Down.
Yeah,
why are you upside down?
It's
like help
it
with,
says,
I don't know,
why do you assume I'm upside down? Why are you not upside down?
Because upside down is defined compared to gravity, and I point down and I say gravity goes that way.
Really? Because gravity, where you're standing is actually 90 degrees to what some people call gravity.
Gravity is different in different places.
Well, then why am I upside down? Maybe I'm right side up where I'm at.
It sounds
okay.
like.
Have you tried hanging from
science
your toe?
Guys, you talk to him.
Have you tried hanging from your toe in my teepee before? Or ever?
I think we need to establish the concept of frame of reference.
Well, let's have a vote here. Okay.
All right.
He says, all right, how many of the people here have ever given a female, we'll start with females, an orgasm? Raise your hand. He raises his hand.
Okay.
Mike raises his hand.
Yeah.
Ronan raises his hand.
Chenwei raises.
Yeah. Angel, or is this Angelica?
Angelica
is this
is
Angel or
dying.
I think this is Angelica,
It's
right?
Angelica.
Right.
Angelica raise her hand?
Angelica's raising her hand. She's done it to herself.
Angelica.
I do not know if Susan has or not, but I'm not willing to ask her either.
Oh my.
No, yeah, Angelica is just
Okay,
dying.
I say since this question.
Well, the important thing is, does Susan raise her hand?
She's sleeping right now, so she's not here.
Oh,
She went to a hut and went to sleep.
All right.
Yeah. That way, I'm only playing one character for a while.
Okay, so Mike, do you or do you not raise your hand?
Mike does raise his hand.
Okay, so everybody here has raised their hand, including Chen Wei, right?
Yes.
He says,
Now
you
that
see?
I'm surprised about.
Oh my.
Oh my.
And so he looks around. He says, that is a very high number.
I say we are not from around here. Have you heard of the Fringe Pass? Probably not, but
Again, that word
that's relevant, Kenway.
Okay.
That word is not in their language.
Have you ever been to the blah, blah, blah?
Do you have any foreigners around here at all?
What would a foreigner be?
I guess you don't.
I
Someone
mean,
will,
we have
Old as
we have
ice.
many people who are from many villages that I did not grow up near, and would that be a foreigner? That would be
Yes.
somebody
I don't
foreign
know.
to me, somebody unknown, somebody unfamiliar.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
what you're referring to?
I guess technically that could
Maybe,
work.
maybe.
I mean, he's putting he's scratching his chin, upside down to you guys.
Mm.
He says, well, it's good.
Also, you're still upside down.
No, I'm not.
The science guys, is he upside down?
Bill.
All right. Okay. Mike takes a coin out of his pocket. Now, I'm going to establish frame of reference. Whichever way the coin drops, that's the way gravity is. That should determine who is upside down and who is not. Can you agree with that?
No, because I've been told by people who care about such things that gravity is the thing that attracts you to the ground, and there is no ground here. As a matter of fact, it says the direction that everybody moves is toward the surface of the discs, and they are spinning parallel to the ground. Therefore,
well,
That's only
Therefore,
because you're creating an
ground
artificial
is
gravity.
the ground is not down. The ground is actually, and he points in this direction, in a direction.
okay.
It's over there. That's where gravity is
the
pulling.
point I'm trying to make is that from our current point of view, from
Mhm.
where we are at this exact moment, gravity is, and I dropped the coin.
So and of course it falls down to
Falls
where
to
the
the
floor is
Yeah.
of his hut, of his teepee. And he says, so you wish to redefine the term to say gravity is where the coin falls. Fine, I can talk like that. He says,
Okay.
but it's
I think this is proving useless.
it's not true, but sure, for the purposes of telling a
The purpose-
story, I'm
all right.
perfectly happy. It's interesting. They call me the nonsense guy, and yet here you are. So,
Well,
nice to have company.
I
He
think
basically
Okay.
at this point he reaches up, unhooks his toe from the noose on the rope, on this more of a string than anything else, and it basically bounces up, toward the top of the ceiling, and he basically, slowly
floats.
floats, moving, uh, uh, he kind of swims actually, just, down to what would be the ground. Because like I said, there's an impetus in this house for you to rise up off the ground and float up toward the ceiling, because that's where the opening is. That's where
I
the
get out
opening of the
a
teepee
cell
is.
phone and I shine a flashlight at him.
Why?
Because they don't have flashlights around here, remember?
All right.
That is true.
I don't think they do they?
Oh wait, no, they don't.
He goes and says, Al.
Sorry, I just wanted to show you like a thing made from made by people from really, really far away.
Okay. Was it made by foreigners?
I suppose, yes.
With
Let's
the
say yes.
given?
All right.
Just yes.
Okay.
'Cause
All right.
yes.
So he basically goes and grabs, grabs some ropes that are dry, and pulls himself over to the side, and he sits down in a chair and ties a rope around his waist, so he's sitting in the chair. And you notice that there are chairs in this teepee in all kinds of directions and such.
Oh.
He says, so I'm sure you've come to speak to me for a reason.
Yes.
He says, on the first day that you've come here, he says, what is the great, unbridled reason that you've come to speak with me?
We wanted to find out if you knew things about this place that other people didn't, because we don't know much about this place.
Okay.
Being
What
foreign.
what place are you referring to? I
The
definitely know a
world.
lot more about the inside of my home than you do,
The
nor
world.
anyone else.
The world, the light side and the dark, whatever it's called.
The
The
dark.
light.
The dark.
The start with the part with the wizards.
The what?
The part of the world that's dark and has the wizards.
I don't think they know about
He looks
that.
at you he looks at you with, wide-eyed wonder. Really? Tell me more. I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of wizards.
No.
I thought you said that sinners go to the dark, but now you haven't heard of the dark.
I know what the dark is. That's where bad people go.
It seems like it just has people, not necessarily bad people, and it's got wizards.
Well, I'm sure. How do you know that there are wizards in the dark? And by the way, just so I'm sure, since you seem to be redefining terms, what is a wizard?
A wizard is somebody who does amazing things that people don't know how to do mostly.
Well, that's true of all of the otters.
Amazing is subjective here.
Yeah.
We are all wizards in our own ways, you know.
Can
Okay,
I-
a
person
wizard
have
can
a block of ice?
hold out his hand and blast you and kill you
Or
or freeze you
turn
and
you into
kill
a
you.
block of ice.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying there are really bad people in the
Well,
dark.
they're really powerful people.
And how is it that you know these things? Because no one else has told me these things.
Yes, Chen.
Because-
Yes, Chen Wei. How do we know that?
Because we've been there.
What an interesting story. I'm
Yes.
going to
Hmm.
I'm going to have to write this down. Hold on a second. And he goes over and he reaches over and he grabs like a big
I'm muting.
excuse me.
I said to the
big
party while I
wad
was
of
writing this
paper
down.
that's been stitched together on the end, okay, and he grabs something that looks like a piece of
Bless you.
charcoal. I'm
Demons
sorry.
be gone.
Yes, I'm sorry. And he starts writing. He says, a story, by as recorded by Artandro. He says, one day, while
Times four.
Artandro was hanging by his toe, some strangers came into Artando's house, and they told a story, and they carried stories about what goes on in the dark. He says, Artando was amazed to hear such a thing, since no one had ever come to him. Even more amazed that they came to Artandro. I mean, why would they come to Artandro and not someone else? But it must
Because
be
you're
the
here.
will. It must be the will of the great protector, and therefore, he says, he set himself, busily to recording these words. He says, he turns and looks at you. He looks at you. He says, how did you get? He says, what sin did you commit to go into the dark?
We did not. We came there by accident.
He says, this is going to be a forbidden book already, I can tell. He says, they claimed that they went into the dark by accident and not by committing a sin. Unless,
We
of
got
course,
out by accident.
and they returned from the dark by accident as well.
I look at the party and I say, okay, what's the next guy we wanted to talk to?
You're on your own here, buddy.
So
dug
tell
this
me,
hole.
what was this accident? So he's right. Tell me, what was the accident that how did you accidentally go into the dark?
We opened a portal
Was
into
it
the
really
world
an
of the dark.
accident, or
I say,
was
like you
it just
said, we opened the portal.
unexpected because you were somehow going into the dark by intent, and then it happened in an unusual way? I mean, since you supposedly didn't do it by committing a sin, that would be unusual in and of itself. But I mean, particularly, what is the particular way you managed to go into the dark, quote, by accident?
We went to a portal. We didn't know where the portal goes, and we were exploring it. And so the portal took us there.
You went to a doorway, and the doorway.
A portal, not a regular door.
We had this discussion before, Ken, that they don't have a word for portal. They have a word for doorway.
It's not a regular door. It's a special door. It's not made of anything, and it's circular, and it's a rainbow colored.
Just say magic door.
Okay, so they went through a circular rainbow colored door. Doorway. Okay. Sounds he's looking at the other he says, that doesn't sound like an accident, does it? It sounds like somebody intended to go through that doorway.
Yeah, but
the portal's actually black, but
we didn't go to any. I thought the portal. So the portals are. I know they're rainbow, at least on the world side.
Exactly, they're black on the fringe side. They're rainbow edged on the world side.
Yeah, there's no center to them. That just goes.
They're just transparent.
We just kind of see a shimmer.
You don't even see that. It's just basically you can see right through it, like there isn't anything there.
We meant to go through the portal, but we didn't mean to go to any particular place. We wanted to see where the portal went. We didn't know that.
So you were curious. He says they were driven by curiosity.
That's a sin.
I bet you're going to tell us that's a sin, right?
Like many other otters, to go through this doorway that they had found that's black on one side and it's rainbow colored on the other. Okay, and they found themselves in the dark. Now, where is this doorway that you went through?
On top of the tower.
How could I get to it?
I would have no idea how you'd get to it unless you wanted to go to the dark and find it. And most people can't use it anyway.
Here, hold out your hand.
Well, you had to be somewhere when you went through it. I mean, surely you'd be able to describe that location.
I tell him to hold out his hand.
Okay, he holds out his hand.
I put the crystal key in it.
I
glowing
far enough away that it doesn't glow.
It's glowing because you guys are Fringeworthy and within 10 feet of it. Yes.
I focus on it to eliminate the extras. And does it continue to glow?
No.
Okay. Well, you can't go through the portal because you're not worthy, and I take it away.
Oh, he looks shocked. He gasps. His breath goes in. He's
Gad,
not worthy. Oh my! He says, insulting somebody and telling an untruth is a good way to get yourself into the dark, young man.
Well, I'm just telling. How is that an untruth? Only people that are.
You said I was unworthy.
Of going through the
you just met me.
It's a special kind of unworthy.
How can you say I'm unworthy?
It's a special kind of unworthy. It's not like regular unworthy.
It's a special kind. It's not your everyday. It's not your everyday unworthiness. No, it's a special kind of unworthy that only they seem to understand.
Mike says
this chronicler is suspicious.
I say to him
that they know very well what sins that they committed. To go into the dark. The real question is that if they went into the dark, then how did they get back out?
Well,
and he looks at you and he says, but anyway, but before you were going to describe the dark to me because no one here has ever seen the dark.
Well, it's dark.
It's dark.
It's dark. It is dark in the dark.
It's got wizards.
Smirk and It has wizards, and wizards again are what are
They
they?
apparently embody a color, like a blue wizard who is not very nice. They have
Uh-huh.
a yellow wizard, which is not very nice,
Uh-huh.
and a red wizard, which is not very nice. And apparently,
Green wizard,
all
that's
the
not very
wizards aren't
nice.
very
All
nice,
right.
except for the green wizard, who is not nice at all.
The green wizard
Mhm.
is a cannibal.
Mike,
Yeah, I
Mike
can
Mike
attest for
goes
the
to the
green
guy and
wizard
says,
being not nice.
a wizard is a person who can perform, who has abilities that cannot be explained rationally.
Oh, he has dream powers that
It's
you
Yeah,
along
know
the,
the
it's
things that
along
you
those
can do
lines.
in your dream that you can't do in real life.
right.
He
Yeah.
can
can
do
do
those
them.
things in real life. Is
Right.
that what you're telling me?
Well,
That's
apparently.
Yes, that
essentially
is
correct.
that is what we call wizards.
Yes.
Wizards
yes.
are those who can perform the impossible things that you dream in your dreams, but they can do it in when they are awake.
Right. Like we
Yeah,
saw him point at
essentially
one
correct.
guy and they burst
Wow.
into flames. And he pointed at another guy
What?
and he froze like a block of ice.
Does everybody have this power?
No.
Very, very
No.
good.
Not
Very,
from
very
a
good.
Well,
Jedi.
why not? Why are
Because they're
they
not
special?
wizards.
I don't know.
I mean-
We don't know much about this world. That's why we tried to find somebody who does. Obviously, you don't really. So do you know who might know more about this world so that we could talk to?
No, I mean, everybody has their areas of expertise and of interest. Okay, but if you want someone who knows everything about everything, you're not going to find it here. I mean, it's hard enough to, it is hard to discover, the secrets of this world because everyone's afraid that they're going to offend the protector. That we're going to go. This is what. How did it was it put? He says we were to learn those things that no man should know.
Okay, wait a minute. The
yes.
protector? Who's the protector?
The protector.
The protector is the being that created this place.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
I say to the party in English, I thought that this may have been a space colony. Maybe it is.
Entirely
Oh,
fine.
yes.
All right.
Great.
And
How-
he leans
okay.
over
Protector.
conspiratorially and he says, by the way, knowledge about how to give women orgasms, that was one of those things they said that men should not know how to do.
I know many women who would disagree with you.
Angel's gonna look over at Mike like, can I kill him now?
He says,
no.
I myself try
Well-
to I myself try to find out more about how this is possible and how to do it on a regular basis. But I got great resistances from from the other men and women of the town I was from.
I
Oh,
wonder
okay.
why.
You'd think that someone who is trying to give what men have always claimed to be an extremely satisfying moment,
Would not disagree.
they would want that for others.
Is that
Okay.
the only thing that you've ever said that people objected to?
Oh, well, that's the only real thing that I've ever said that
Well,
they object.
what other things are there?
Well, I
Are they saying they're
have told
fake?
people, some of the things I dreamed about, and
Oh.
some people didn't like some of those stories.
All right.
I assume
Fair
they don't
enough.
have fringe portals in them, special doors in them.
Okay. More
He
importantly,
says, no. Usually there were special doors in them.
But not like the ones I described, right?
Well, they were special doorways, and you went through them, and you found yourself in other places. And yes, but I mean, they weren't black on one side and rainbow colored on the other.
Where were these
No.
doorways at?
in my mind. They're dreams, sir. They're
okay.
dreams that I
Okay, very
dreamed.
good. All right.
And in my dreams, I went through them and I found myself in other places, seeing
All right.
incredible things. And I told
Okay.
people about places like that, and they all, first of all, they laughed, and then realizing that they could have offended me, they all begged my forgiveness, which of course I gave them.
Sure.
And then they all decided that I should come here.
I see.
Okay, is
The
there
city-
is
the
there a
great
nearby
city of
town
Wiz.
to this town?
Pardon?
Is there a nearby town to this town?
Yes, there are many nearby towns.
What are like the three closest?
There's Ritherhith, there's Aston, and there's Arbington.
How far away are they? Could you like walk to them in less than a day?
Of course. All of them can be gotten to before the day's end ceremony.
What's a day's end ceremony?
He looks at you very suspicious. He says, "How is it that you do not know the day's end ceremony? Have you all lost your memories?"
We are foreigners.
Yes, we've lost our memories.
We
Please remind us what it is.
It is a ceremony where we every day where we have one last chance to seek forgiveness for any sins that we might have committed against each other, and to receive forgiveness, and to also thank the protector for giving us the light and our comfort in it, and and for giving us the dark, so that there be a place where people who are bad and who sin are taken so they may not harm us. We do this every day. It is a remembrance.
All right.
Thank you for the reminder.
Question. How does the protector communicate with you, your people, the people there? How do you know what the protector wants? Is it written down somewhere? Is there a person who can communicate with the protector?
He says, I do not know of any such person. These are all stories that have been handed down from father to son, mother to daughter, uncle to nephew, and aunt to niece, and occasionally from young boy to family pet.
All right.
These stories are told and retold every single day, and because it is important for us to remember, so that we might not fall into sin and be carried off into the dark, where it is not a good place to be, where all the comforts that we are familiar with would no longer be available to us.
Okay.
Or do different towns have different stories about that?
I don't know. I just know my own town of Achterheide, and it's and the stories that I was taught there.
Well, are the stories you're taught there different than the stories you hear here?
Some, but in general, the answer is, since I've met many people, many otters from many towns here, at the city of Wiz, I can tell you that some of the stories that they have told have been different, but there have been other stories that they have told that were the same. And probably this is one of the best places to collect all the stories of the protector that exist.
Cole, Ronan raised his hand a while ago. Do you still want to say something? Earth to Cole?
I think that was to the question.
I think it was something else, and I forget.
Yeah, but
we've moved
Cole,
on.
your character really should be interacting with this group and not just you sitting there. I mean, when you hear something that someone says, it's okay for you to talk and ask questions and comment on what you hear. That's what role playing is all about, Cole.
Okay.
All right. Have you personally known anyone who got banished to the dark?
Yes, I have.
What were the circumstances?
What they do?
Well, there was a young woman
Okay.
who was brought here by their by the village from when she came,
Okay.
and she was not happy about that. She felt that she was being punished for being unusual and having different ideas and such and interests.
What kind of
Uh,
ideas?
She believed that you could take plants from one plant and make them grow in another plant and produce multiple fruits on the same plant,
Interesting.
which of course is obviously some kind of aberration of, I mean, even if you could confuse a plant to think that it was actually another kind of plant, when harvest came around, it would, reveal itself to be such. And it upset a lot of people because she was mutilating their crops and such. And
Jesus.
well, I mean, they called it mutilation. I mean, I only met her here, so
Okay.
these are the stories that she told.
All
And
right.
she tried to explain that what she was doing was good and would actually learn the basic understandings of how what she called plant knowledge, the basic and possibly even animal knowledge, to be revealed. And but no one took her seriously. I mean, we gave her room, of course, to do what she wanted to do, and she
All right.
did make some very strange looking plants. But she always held in her heart a kind of a bitterness toward her family, toward her village, and I think it consumed her and sent her. It finally came to the point where she just could not forgive what had happened, and it caused her to go into the dark.
Been
Because
there,
one
done
day
that.
she was here, and the next day she was gone, and no, she was never found again. Now, it's possible she could have leapt from the disc and survived the fall and run away to someplace else, but I don't know why she would think that any other place would be better than here when this is the only place where such ruminations are tolerated and even encouraged.
Thank you very much. We have things we have to discuss among ourselves. Thank you for all your kindness and hospitality and information.
Sure.
You've helped us quite a bit.
All right. And remember, anytime you want to hang by your toes, you're welcome to come here and do that.
I will inform Susan.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's likely to happen, but
Drop
I'll
by and
consider
hang
it.
out.
Okay.
All right.
Hang out.
So we
Well, if you have more stories of the dark, which you haven't really told me any, feel free to come back and I'll be glad to write them down for you.
thank you. We certainly will keep you in mind. Okay, I heard the party toward the building where Susan is.
Okay. And Susan probably, and you probably find Susan, over against the wall, kind of halfway sitting, halfway lying, in this microgravity. And
Yeah.
and when you enter in, you probably wake her up.
Okay, very good. All right. Okay, Mike addresses the party. He says, okay, so what we have here is some sort of supernatural being judging these people all the time, and if they step too far out of the line, he sends them to the other side of the planet.
So then why aren't
So,
these
God.
people?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
So then why aren't these people getting sent? If
They're not getting
if
sent because they're scared enough to not do anything that'll offend supernatural being.
Otherwise known as cowards. I'm kidding.
If this is an artificial world, like
Susan
maybe
halfway says,
they've
I
run
resemble
this.
that remark. So go again.
Now, I was saying if this is an artificial world, I mean, like maybe the people who send them to the dark are the people who run the place.
Yes, yes. But they've just the rules were given to them a long time ago, and they're not written down. They're passed down by word of mouth. So there's no real way we can tell how this whole thing got started. It's the way it is right now. Susan pipes up, kind of like the Arturo's world. It just sort of is that way, basically. Yeah.
You think there's like a hidden base with ancient beings in there that are occasionally plan things out?
wasn't that the plant world? The equivalent of
No, R2's world.
no, the secret base part.
There was on
Oh,
R2's.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a secret base on the plant world, but that's not what I was referring to.
If to find it, Chen Wei, we would have to this is Mike talking. To find it, we'd have to search basically everywhere for some place that looks like it's a place where such a being would reside or exist. We don't have the ability to search the whole surface of this world.
Well, it seems like this guy didn't really know anything. I don't know if we're gonna find anybody here who knows something would be useful. Like, but
Well, we could check the other side.
yeah, I can't imagine that. I don't know. I just don't know.
Apparently, the doctors and the scientists are all on the other side.
Yes.
Well, I guess we could.
You mean on the A disc?
On the A disc.
Yeah, well, I'm not a doctor or a
Take the A
scientist,
disc.
but maybe you can get some information from them.
Well, we'd have to find out how to get back to where we were.
I just climb.
Yeah, it's just you can just go to the other disc, right?
Yeah, you absolutely.
All right.
You can just go up the ladder, the covered ladder, up to the middle, and then down the other side.
All right. Okay. Well,
I mean, you get you are considerably lighter here on this end than you were in the middle, but even in the middle, you were pretty light.
Okay. So does everyone want to get our stuff and go to the A disc then?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's
What
do it then. All right, so we get our shit together and we head to the A disc.
All right.
Like I said, what stuff?
Are you going to just wait until you each of them cross over, or are you going to do it all as a group?
Well, it's a ladder, right?
Yeah, you just go
The
there.
ladder that's attached to the arm that comes from the cap.
So we'll just
Yeah, we should go.
One at a
Just
time. Go down.
All right,
Go
let's
up
go.
the ladder,
Yeah, let's
down the
head out.
ladder.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because it's every once
Well,
in
I
a
mean,
while
you
I
can't go
say
as a group
something
if the
and you're
ladder
like,
is,
no, we didn't do that. So I want to make sure I
All
don't
right.
if the ladder
assume.
has room for one at a time, obviously we can't go as a group if you mean, all simultaneously, but we can go after each other.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Walk, walk, travel, travel.
Okay.
Not following your ass.
All right. And you get up to the middle, and let's see here.
Who stops us now?
I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So Tatus from Steepguard, who was the one who lifted you up there in the first place, says, "Hey, what? The B disc wasn't to your liking?
Oh, no.
They weren't
Soon
mean
will
to
be.
you, were they?
Not in the slightest. No.
But do you want down, or is you're heading toward the other disc?
Yeah, we want to head toward the other disc.
We want to
Any
visit.
particular reason?
We like meeting different people.
Okay. Well, have fun.
Thank you, Tatus.
It's so Tatus.
Thank you, so Tatus.
That does.
He says you are definitely otters.
Yeah.
Hotter than the average bear.
Yay.
But
Oh yeah. Should
And
just
there's a
call
word for bear in their language, by the way.
And
Oh,
the
very
cat
good.
came
Cool.
back. He knew he should an otter.
All right. So you basically get on the other side. If you really want to, you can head down it face forward, but most people would go turn themselves around.
All right.
So it's just, and of course you can see out, and everything with, a lot of people don't look, try very hard not to look out because it's literally spinning around you very rapidly. So
Yes.
it can be very, cause your gorge to rise. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like watching somebody else play a first person shooter. And after a while you're like, why am I feeling so sick?
Yeah, my father is Naughtius Maximus of the Jewish Brigade. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Okay, very good. So Susan will go first and we'll head down there.
Oh, she will she?
Okay.
Oh, you can go. You can
right.
go first if you want to, Jason.
He goes and yells
my
and
idea.
says, remember, it's getting close to the day's end ceremony, so you might want to make some preparations.
Preparations H.
I'm heading back down so I can, for the one we're doing here. So if
Okay.
you want to come back down, I won't be here to catch you. So I think it'd be best if you just wait until tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds good.
How long do we have before we think we're probably going to get transported again?
You figure around 7 to 8 hours.
So if we wait until the next day, we probably won't get much of a chance to do anything before we get transported. So if we're going to do anything, we got to do it now.
All right.
let's go talk to some crazy people.
Talk
Do
to
something
the
to
hot
yourself again?
dog. It will read your mind. What?
Jason, are you okay there?
Yep.
Okay. So you guys climb down the other side, and this time there isn't a group waiting to play, not playing music. You just basically come out the other end. and you see something that looks similar, except that all the buildings look different, because each one is unique to its owner. And there is somebody out there who is, he has a very strange device, which is, it looks like a ball made out of metal, and he it has like a tube going into it, and it comes down, and on the sides of it there is a there's these two gauges, like big, like gauges, like fuel gauges kind of thing. Okay, and then it comes down to a handle that it looks like you could squeeze, like it would pump a bellows of some kind. It's kind of hard to tell. It's like there's a piston involved in it. Okay, and he's walking around, and he's doing stuff, and he's also because he's doing, because every once in a while he reaches up and he pulls a wire, and you hear this sound like a whistle. It starts off high and then it fades.
Okay.
Yeah, you got me on that one. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how that all works together, but
Yeah, what?
Well, okay, you've got a metal ball that's got two
a wire.
Well, that's got two gauges on either side. Okay. You have a tube that goes from that, is being held, by some kind of contraption. So basically like two arms come from the metal part down to a handle where this guy can basically pump, squeeze. It's like a squeeze thing. You squeeze this, and when he does that, it causes this thing that kind of looks like a piston to go back and forth. Sort of like what you'd see on a steam train, steam locomotive. All right, and
Interesting.
Right, and there's also a they say there's like a wire that he can pull on, and when he does that, then you hear that whistle sound. Okay, he also is holding on to the metal of one of the struts, on the sides of. He has two hands on this thing.
All right.
Do I need to draw this?
No,
or is that good enough?
That's good enough.
Okay.
So is this?
And
I asked him
he's
if
traveling around to different locations, it seems, and he's doing this experiment of some kind.
Okay.
is that
Okay, go
does
ahead,
that
Jason.
ball hold pressure?
All right, so you're gonna go up and talk to him?
Yeah.
He says, yes, it does.
Where does it get the pressure from?
It gets it from the pump.
Okay.
The
Then
pump
what
that
is
that I operate with my right hand.
Okay, what are you observing then? What is the effect that you're observing?
I am trying to see that if it does the amount of pressure that I create inside of the ball, does it remain uniform depending upon where I am on the disc? Because I have a theory that when I am at the bottom of the disc, closest to the ground, it should hold less pressure than when I'm at the top. Or the pressure should be less, is what I'm saying.
Interesting theory.
Yes.
And what have you deduced so far?
Well, I'm still experimenting, but he says it is a proven fact that smoke, which is the result of burning things like wood, produces a hot, amalgam of ash and something else, okay, that rises, okay, and the reason it rises is because it is less, I believe, is because it's less dense the higher you go up. And so it's basically forcing itself upward toward that less dense area from where the fire is, because it's lower down to the ground.
Susan quietly says, "You're right so far."
Anyways, so I'm testing to see, in the case of where fire is not involved, just just pressure. Does pressure change depending upon how high from the ground to, from one end of the disc? Because one end of the disc is above the top of the tower, okay, and the other end is far below the tower and the top of the tower, yet a significant distance above the earth. And I'm just trying to see whether or not there is any difference. And
I like
and
it,
just
sir.
and just in case that there is and I'm trying this at different pressures to see whether or not the amount of pressure makes any difference as well. This is going to take me probably a number of days to complete.
Yes.
I like you, sir. What's your name?
It says my name.
Weezak. And Bob.
And Bob. Sorry, making you work for it this time.
I know.
His name is Weezak and Bob.
My
Susan
name is
says,
name is Normal.
Thermal.
Normal.
Normal.
He's named after a cat.
It's a pleasure to meet
one of
you.
my coworkers is named. In real life, one of my coworkers is named Normal.
Is he a cat?
No, she's a computer programmer.
It's
You remember
pleasure to-
Garfield?
And I come from the village of Ismol.
Thermal from Ismol.
Next, you're gonna tell me there's a place here called Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
I have met somebody from Ismol whose name was Constantbul.
Oh,
Constantable.
Yeah,
Not
Constantbul.
Constable, but Constantable.
Constantmol, M-A-L.
sure.
At least, like I said, you're hearing this, not necessarily writing it, but anyways.
All right, very good. Okay.
Well, good luck in your endeavors, sir.
Yes. If you need any, Susan says, if you need any help, let me know. I'm quite experienced in these matters.
Well, you're brand new coming here. Don't you have your own interests? I mean, after all, this is the place where you can, if you're like most of us, our interests were considered to be trifling at best and disruptive at worst. And therefore, we never really got a chance to really follow our interests the way we wanted to.
Okay.
There was always something more important to do than what we wanted to do.
Right. Especially if husbands didn't want you to find out if their wives had orgasms.
He looks at you very strangely. He says, well, that doesn't happen, right?
No, never.
I didn't think so.
Angelica's face palming again, like, ah, shit, not again.
Susan's probably very confused at this moment because she wasn't part of that previous conversation.
No.
She is, and she says, she looks at Angelica and says, and signs, please explain later.
Okay.
Oh, to be a fly on that wall.
Yeah. Well, at least applying the new sign language.
French sign
He
language
says,
at
so
that.
what are your names and what are your interests? And I'll And maybe there's somebody here who's like-minded, and you could perhaps, well, it's unlikely, but you could perhaps have a joint
Joint.
investigation.
I am Bishop. I'm interested in medicine.
Medicine. Oh, that is always a useful thing. Are you more interested in the proper setting of bones, or are you more interested in the proper stitching of rended flesh?
Oh,
Or
I can do all
are
that.
you one of those strange people that seems to who's only interested in helping people and animals give birth to the next generation?
I'd say all the above.
Obstetrics is not my thing.
Hmm.
I'm
Yes,
more interested in
it does
in
seem
medicines.
like women's work, doesn't it?
Of course.
Angelica's looking over at him like she's gonna murder him at this point.
Sexist male fantasies on ice.
Well, I mean, after all,
Minus the
Yeah,
ice.
all those.
I mean,
All these can go.
Mhm.
All these
Yes.
have papers.
you're not, Angelica, you're not sure whether or not these people are chauvinistic or just
Ignorant.
uneducated.
Susan
I'm going with
says.
ignorance.
Susan says, I'm Susan. My interests are science and music.
Well, he says those are completely separate from each other, as far as I know.
That's why I'm an otter.
Do you use science? Do you use science to create music, or do you use music to create science?
Well,
Yeah.
music is math.
Music has a relation to mathematics, which is, of course, a science.
So you're interested in all three then?
Essentially, yes.
Oh well,
Bruce?
you'll find some otters here that like at least one of those things.
Yeah.
Bruce,
You're-
do they
you're-
even have a word for
they're-
science?
Science. The closest, the meaning of the word that they have would be, natural mysteries.
Out of
Natural,
game,
so they don't have a word for
investigations.
out of game in the game 7C, science has the term natural philosophy
Yeah, that's what people
in the game.
used to call it.
Okay.
You'll
Yes.
probably find that all people are scientists in that regard.
Mhm.
At least otters are.
Well,
Yes, technically.
once you're
Well,
done
I'm a
with your
stand-up
experiment, I
philosopher.
can share.
Yeah.
This is still Susan talking. Once you're done with your experiments, I can share some of the discoveries I've made.
Oh,
Well,
lovely. That would be great.
Yes, I'm anxious to share information.
All right.
Okay, Mike says, I'm Mike and I build things in general. I'm an engineer. I like to build things.
Okay.
This is Angelica.
Hi.
So are you going to build your own house?
I hadn't planned on it. No.
All right. And what about Angelica?
Yeah, my name is Angelica. I guess for lack of a better way of phrasing it, I'm into animal science. I like the weird facts of animals.
So you're into how animals develop and grow and interact.
Yep.
Okay.
People seem to find that
Well,
strange.
this is a good place to set up an experiment because you can control your variables here very easily. It's really hard to control your variables in a forest or in a field, especially in a field.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pat Chen Wei's shoulder. This is our friend Chen Wei.
He tastes sounds.
He says he is very unusually. He is very unusually colored. What did he have a sickness when he was younger?
I come from a different place than the other people here.
Oh, what was your town?
Shanghai.
Shanghai. It's a very musical name. Are you also into music?
No, I make pottery, or I did until I came here.
He's in the pens.
Huh.
Yeah.
Says
Right now,
doesn't
my brother is running the store.
seem like the sort of thing that would make one an otter, but you know, he says that's the thing about otters. They don't they do things that are unexpected.
Well, he's a Harry Potter.
What?
He looks at him. He says he doesn't like he doesn't like to cut his hair.
No.
Oh.
Does Chenway have a queue?
What? You mean the thing the
braid.
ponytails? No.
Well, it's
Actually, I don't know what I don't think like around the turn of the century they wore those.
They
so
did.
I'd say if they did.
Uh-huh.
Okay, maybe he does. I thought they didn't.
queues.
Okay.
Queues have been around for a long time.
No, Jackie Chan had one in that one movie.
Yeah, that was the 1800s. But also, if you think about it, if you watch the one with Jet Li in it, where he plays the guy and they fight all the different people, and he fights like the
Yeah,
German.
like
side
that's
sword.
several movies.
Yeah,
And they fight all the
agree.
different people. Yeah.
I agree.
Uh,
But wasn't that called something Mountain? The one he was
No.
with Jet Li?
oh, you mean the one that Jackie Chan was in with Jet Li?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it's
That was
And Jackie Chan played Monkey in the.
oh
Jet
yeah,
Li played-
yeah.
Jackie Chan
it
played
was
the
it was
drunken-
the one based
drunken
on Journey
master.
to the West.
Right,
that
but
was
he was
such a
still
good
Monkey.
movie.
Everything
That was such a
Okay,
good movie.
I'm sorry.
contains
I
references
don't
to
mean to
Journey to the
distract.
West.
Okay.
Anyway.
So
Yeah.
he says, "Well, good luck to you. I hope you can find a place to stay. Put your. He says you don't seem to have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we came here sort of abruptly by accident.
Well, that's no reason why your chaperone shouldn't have brought your stuff from your home.
We
got
we
beat on
don't
by a
have a
hyena.
chaperone. We got here by accident.
Our chaperone got sent to the dark by
He
accident.
looks very confused at this, and you're going to get a lot of that considering what you said, the way you put these things.
Our chaperone.
We think
got
our
sent to the
chaperone
dark.
got sent to the dark.
His eyes get big, and he says, "Oh no! You
That
had
was
a
our
wicked,
reaction.
you had a
wasn't there
wicked
anymore.
chaperone."
We
'Cause
woke
I've
up and he
never
wasn't
heard
there
anybody
anymore.
say that before.
Hmm.
Is that
Well,
uncommon?
now you have.
Having a wicked chaperone?
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, chaperones are people that stay here and take care of us for the rest of our lives. He says they're usually the most devoted people we have.
Well, unfortunately, ours was not, apparently.
Yeah, he was vetoed.
He's vetoed.
You say his toes were deformed?
In a
Yes.
manner of speaking.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Let's go with that. His toes were deformed, and he sinned to get sent to the dark.
How many otters are on the A side?
There are 10 of us, and of course now with you guys, there's now 16.
Ah. Is there
Actually, it might
17,
be 7.
whatever?
Well, actually, Angel was still down on the ground, right? With
Right. So
Dawn?
there's 7.
Right. So there's 7.
Six.
So
6.
16. Yeah. So it's 16.
All right.
So, where do they mind if we go and check on all the other people here and see who does what? What their study is?
Oh, he doesn't mind. Normal is.
I don't
like,
want to interrupt
that's none
your,
of my
your
business.
experiment.
None of my business. If they don't like, but I mean, if you become an annoyance, then you better It says, I'm sure you should ask for forgiveness, otherwise you might end up in the dark.
Oh, of course, of course.
So, well, got to get back to my experiment. So, good luck to you, and welcome to the A disc.
Have fun
Hey.
Thank you.
hypothesizing.
See you on the down
Indeed.
low.
And then I'm walking away.
A life not examined is not worth living.
I'm pretty sure our blob would agree with you on that.
Our
I'd say
blobs.
poking Ronan.
No,
I don't care
I mean
if I
the
call
flag
him.
of Istanbulia.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronan, if you expect to get any experience for this session, you better start interacting.
If he fell asleep, I swear I'm gonna text Kinsey.
Huh?
Yeah, looks
Yep.
like that.
I thought I heard a cat.
No.
I thought he transmogrified or something.
You did. He turned into a cat. Ow, don't
Yeah.
That's the invisible cat that Jason's holding.
Okay, I
Oh,
say to the
yeah.
party, I guess talking to people here like didn't really get us much information. I mean, we know that people don't know a lot of things.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're not asking the right questions.
I guess we found out about like this protector and the end of day ceremony and
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
should definitely go to the end of day ceremony. That could answer some of our questions, says Mike.
Yeah, Chen Wei, instead
Yeah.
of acting like
yeah.
we're from somewhere,
But-
just pretend we have no memory.
Mhm.
I was wondering how big a hole you were gonna dig, Chen Wei. It was pretty big.
With the pen?
He didn't even mention pens once, you know.
I was talking about you.
All right. Bruce, when is how long till the end of day ceremony from now?
Since you had that conversation, I'd say probably 5 hours now.
5 hours.
So
okay.
so it's like 7 hours till we get transported away and 5 hours till the ceremony.
Okay.
No, 5 hours until the portal
hours
on the
have
dark
gone by.
side should open. When certain things are going to happen, you don't know. You haven't asked those questions.
And it's
All
Right,
and it's
but
hypothetical.
assuming
You don't know
we-
how
we-
long the end of day ceremony goes because you've never seen one before.
I
Well,
thought we
we
saw
started
one
one.
when we. Yeah, we started one in the
And then
dark, and that's when we
Then we got sent
we
here.
pooped.
We poofed.
We poofed.
And so then the fact that you're writing on us
So-
hypothetically going back is merely hypothetical here.
So maybe our transports are synchronized with the ceremony. It's
Well, it was the ceremony was occurring there, and we poofed and wound up in the middle of the day. So who knows?
right.
Okay.
And then
Assuming it's the same length of time.
you can't assume
then-
that, though.
Yeah, we can't assume shit here, brother.
I
My-
mean,
my-
they can have
Mike
a very
says-
long ceremony in the light,
That's true.
maybe a very short ceremony in the dark. No, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Mike says I'm continuing to stick to the hypothesis we're on a tidally locked planet. That seems to fit everything we've seen so far.
Yeah. What does the sun seem like it's in the same position still?
Yes.
All the time. The sun's always in the
Yeah.
same position.
And I'm here assuming that
Of course, it's really hard to tell that sort of thing considering how fast you're
We're
moving.
spinning
now.
around in circles, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So a
Wheel in
tidally
the
locked
sky, keep
planet.
on spinning.
pretty
That's
much.
a planet that's like stuck in one place.
Yes. Like the moon is tidally locked.
Right.
Okay.
We only see one surface of it ever.
It's okay. I'm
It
not
actually,
saying-
or it actually rotates extremely slowly, doesn't it?
no.
Or it doesn't, or it
No.
rotates at the same speed that we turn, or something like that.
As you revolve around the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the moon never really changes.
The
Right,
moon
the
is
moon-
tidally locked to the planet Earth. Yes.
The time it takes the moon to rotate is the same amount of time it takes to make one orbit around the Earth.
Okay. I say so. Would that explain the gravity?
No.
No.
No. So the lighter gravity would indicate a smaller world.
Well, it depends on the activity of the core
But
normally.
there's like something wrong with the gravity because people fall wrong. The dragon can't fly.
So the Earth's core spins and creates gravity because it has mass and activity, whereas the moon has no core and it has no activity, so it has no gravity.
It has
Yes.
1/16 G.
What's that?
Moon has 1/16 G.
Well, yeah, and that's
Right.
primarily because of
The moon has gravity because it has mass.
right. But Jupiter has got more mass, thus more gravity.
Correct. Yeah, F equals G M1 M2 divided by R squared. Says
I'll take your word for it.
yeah.
Yeah, just like my mama used to make.
Yeah,
Yep, M1
Great with
cancels
chili.
out. All right. Okay,
now I'm
very
thinking
good.
about cornbread. Damn it!
Unfortunately, Mike is thinking about food. He starts looking for food.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What do people eat here? Like, do they provide food?
We don't know.
Haven't found out yet.
I could have sworn there was at one point they said that they'd provide food and other
Stuff.
supplies. But
Right.
Yeah, we had tea and stew, remember, or soup that
Yeah.
was
Yeah, you guys
Zero
literally
G
just
soup.
ate like like an hour ago.
right.
Okay, then we're okay then.
Mike is just hungry.
Mike's
That's
always
all.
hungry.
So
Yeah,
so
He's
is
German.
Angelica.
Talking makes me, what's the term? Peckish.
Peckish.
Peckish. There you go.
Isn't that from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I
It's
didn't see the
also
movie,
it's
so I'm going to
also
say
from
no.
the golly, that's several Python sketches use that phrase. Oh,
John Goodman plays the Cyclops. And mentions something about feeling a bit peckish when he talks.
all right. Wow, excellent.
I'm assuming you have a cat on your stomach because you're doing some really weird things there, Jason.
Yeah, he has a cat.
There he is. Okay, because all I
She
saw was the
disappears.
hand.
The
hand
background
kept
makes her
doing stuff,
disappear.
and the cat was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, the background makes the cat disappear.
It's a disappearing
I
cat.
love the kitty. What's her name?
Jojo.
What?
Jojo.
Mojo,
Jojo.
Jojo,
Like
Jojo.
JoJo's Amazing Adventure.
Right. Or Jojo Rabbit. Or Mojo Jojo. Or
I was just about to say Mojo Jojo.
I also call her
Grade A pain in the
Little
butt.
shit.
I called her Boobadoo the Demandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
The Demandalorian, because she's always wanting something.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what it is though,
Hey,
because
I know you
she
just
can't
gave me
talk.
treats 2 seconds ago, but can I have more?
Mm-hmm.
I should also name her Emeressa.
Treats after you just gave them some.
She's the always eating, always sleeping,
Uh-huh.
unknowing one.
Very good.
Anyway, yeah, so that's and she's done. Goodbye.
Bye. It's like bye.
Like,
Well,
okay, I got my pets. I'm done.
That's pretty much it. I'm good. Bye. All right. Anyhow. Yeah, sorry about the weird hand gestures. I was actually casting a spell.
Cool.
What?
He was learning sign language. Duh. French
All right.
sign language.
Okay.
I already know French Sign Language.
Sacre bleu.
I still cannot hear that right, and I cannot imagine thinking holy blue every time I hear that.
Sacre bleu.
'Cause that's what it means.
Cordon bleu.
My brain's broken anyway.
There's
So- do we want to wander around and look for other people, or if we're not asking the right questions, I'm not sure what questions we're supposed to be asking, because all these people have interests that I don't know. This is
well, Mike says, well, to be frank, their interests to us are trivial because they're asking questions about things that we all take for granted. You know, Susan says, I can agree with that.
Well, it's
Maybe
like they
we
don't-
need to ask where there are other people who know things that we actually want,
like what?
or
Like
or
who? We've got farmers and we've got philosophers, basically. I mean, they know what
people who
pressure
have
is, but they don't know,
people
some
who know
things.
something about the dark. Maybe religious people. I mean, the whole dark thing seems to be sort of their religion. So maybe if you find a
So we need to
actual
find a
religious
theologist.
person, sure.
Okay, and what are the odds we find a theologian?
I don't know how many are there.
Well, we go to where they're setting up for the ceremony. There's bound to be
There's 10
religious
people
types
over here.
there.
We've met one. We're down to 9.
9 people, yeah.
So
Bruce, where is the ceremony held?
There appears to be a ring of chairs,
Okay.
of which there are 9.
Okay.
And in the center of it, there appears to be like a bright cloth, and there's some kind of lensing kind of contraption above it.
Lensing.
all right, we'll go look at the lensing contraption.
Is this,
Okay.
are we sure this
I
isn't
know
an AA meeting?
Susan says that one guy talked about a mirror which could communicate between different wizards back in the dark area. This could be similar.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yep. Who is
Who's
the nuttiest one of us all? This
Who's
big
the
finger
fruitiest
comes
of us
down.
all?
That's it, basically.
I was gonna say who's the
Who's the
blobbiest?
dankest of us all?
Yes.
The blobbiest, Ronan.
I Blobbius.
I blobby.
I've heard that.
That's
Billy
kind of
shakes
the
a lot.
point.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Okay, we take a look at the lens.
Okay, it really
Lens.
isn't a lens. It's a series of metal reflective surfaces. More like
Okay.
primitive mirrors,
All right.
so they're like a disco ball?
and they seem to be on some kind of a unusual gimbal on the end of it. It's like with arms attached to it.
All right.
So is it like a disco ball?
It looks like it's more like a cylinder, okay, with these things inside, and it looks like it moves around.
A cylinder that moves around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Are you going to do anything with it?
I will move it around.
Okay. You move it to one particular location for a second there. The sun basically seems to shine brightly upon the surface below, and then it disappears.
Huh.
That's odd. It just poof.
Just went out.
Well, it's more like it doesn't line up properly.
Okay.
Huh.
So we're attempting to. So.
Well,
The
design
real-
interprets functions. So
All right. Well. So that must mean at a certain point in the day it lines up correctly.
but if the day is always this, well, also we're spinning, so
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true,
exactly.
too, yeah.
so I have no idea how, and the sun doesn't move, so how do you line it up correctly?
They find a
If you have
way.
a constantly moving
Maybe
surface,
you like climb off of this place onto the ground and try it.
we have the 3-body problem here. So
Hmm.
They find a way to do it.
you can't anticipate movements of 3 bodies, correct? With any accuracy. So
Apparently, they have found a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's
When
a
there's a
will, there's a
will.
Ronan.
Ah.
Where there's a wheel in the sky, keep on turning.
Mackenzie, I heard that.
When there's a whip, there's a way.
Yeah. Okay.
And if a problem comes along, you must whip it
Uh-huh.
Whip it good.
into shape. Oh yeah,
Until-
boy, we
until he
belong here
calls you
because we
daddy.
are definitely otters. I'll tell you what.
We do.
Intrusive thoughts. That's what I have.
All right. Somebody comes out and says, "Hey, now," he says, "you leave our sun concentrator alone. You don't know what you're doing there.
Oh,
You're right.
We need that for the ceremony.
Can you
Oh,
explain to me
okay.
how it works?
There are a number of turning wheels that, when activated, will cause that cylinder to move in direct opposition to the spinning motion of the city of Wiz, and to concentrate the sunlight down on a single point
Mm,
fascinating.
where we can give thanks. For without the
see.
sun, he says, we would have nothing but dark.
true.
Okay. So
The absence of light is darkness.
yep. Mike says, as George Carlin said, a day without sunshine is night.
Well, technically, there's still sunshine at night,
Yep.
reflectivity wise.
Uh-huh.
It's like reflected like by the moon.
Yeah.
Who's
Well, they
George
have
Carlin?
no moon here, so I doubt they would understand.
Except for a new.
He says, what is this moon thing that you refer to?
Orbiting satellite. But we've already
Huh?
determined there is no orbit here. So,
What?
yeah. Stellar mechanics.
Exactly.
Huh?
Force times mass equals acceleration.
I say that the moon is a big sphere that hangs in the sky and is not the sun.
And only a few fuckers have been on it.
And on a blue moon,
She
you
looks
stand
at she
alone.
looks at you. She says, "Yes." He says, "I see you're in the right place. You're definitely Otters."
Mm,
And who are you? And what do you do?
My name is Kajitan, and I am an Otter. That is what I do.
What fascinates you?
Oh, what fascinates me? What fascinates me are numbers that cannot be divided by anything other than themselves or one.
Oh,
the square roots.
That's very primal of you.
Right.
Jason,
Fascinating.
no.
The punster strikes again.
Oh, she's into that devil math.
Yeah, and what are you into, Ronan?
I
He's into
say,
pie.
have you seen
I'm
a
into
round
regular math.
rainbow-colored
Addition,
portal?
multiplication, subtraction, division. None of that long division bullshit.
Can you divide by 0?
No.
And I have a
No, I
theory that if we take the numbers that are not primes, okay,
Mhm.
and collect them together, that they form a celestial language that would actually allow us to understand the true name of the protector.
So,
What is the
that's-
true name of the protector that you don't understand?
How do you? Okay, I'm not quite sure how you'd come up with a name from a series of non-divisible by themselves or one.
Well, they are.
so
I mean-
curious.
I mean, they're
what's your-
divisible by many things. That's what identifies them as being different than the numbers.
What's your
I-
what's your theory of pi? 3.14159, so on and so forth. What's your theory on that?
She says, "Isn't that the isn't that a comparison or fraction?"
More like
It's
an infinite number that
something
never
someone
ends.
made up because it's a word.
No,
the
it's not
number
made up.
that never.
I say if so you want to understand the true name of the protector, but can you tell us what the name is, even though you don't understand it? It's still a word. You can say it, right?
Protector.
Well, I don't know what the true name of the protector is.
Oh,
The protector
okay.
has many names,
All right.
but most people just call it the protector.
What are the other names?
Oh, life giver, um, the you know, life giver, Boltrus, Inviolate,
Tamelerin?
uh, 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 I'm sorry, tenured.
Tenured. But not Tamelerin, I guess.
Mellern, yes, that's a name. That sounds
Is-
like a name,
But is
I,
that the name that your protector is called?
that's one of the names, I believe.
Hypothetically, it could be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Now we're setting him on this track. Okay.
What about
my turn.
Schmurk?
Who?
Okay, never mind.
She
What
should
is
say.
it?
He should say. She should say what? Since that she wouldn't assume gender.
Okay. Is the celebration? It there are many different celebrations in different places, correct?
Are you talking about the Days End celebration?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. They each a village, has differences, of course.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And there are many celebrations. There's the celebration of birth, there's a celebration of death, there's a celebration of marriage, there's a celebration of coming of age.
Oh, okay. Sure.
There's a celebration of Thanksgiving for good things that happen. There's the celebration of sympathy for when bad things, when unfortunate things happen. I want to use the word bad things. He says, and of course there is the dirge of remembrance for anyone who has been taken from us into the dark.
Okay.
That their names may never be forgotten, though usually they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
was his name that went to the dark.
Yep.
Some people, want to forget about those who have gone into the dark.
I find it in. Okay, this is Susan talking. Susan says, I find it interesting that your ceremony, people are forgiven at your ceremony.
It is the last chance for them to be forgiven.
The last chance to be forgiven, yes. But still, people still go to the dark.
Yes, if they're
unrepentant?
if they cannot bring themselves to ask for forgiveness, or if they then yes, they carry their sin with them into the dark.
Okay.
Forgive us and
All
those
right.
that have forgive our trespasses and those who have trespassed against us.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, it is not. It is. He says, it is not the responsibility of the one who has sinned against you if you do not ask, if you do not bring it to their knowledge. Sinning can only happen if one is aware of one's sin.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just something unfortunate.
Interesting.
Do people come back from the dark? Have you ever met someone that's come back from the dark?
I have never met anyone who's come back from the dark. I suspect it's not possible. But the protector is wise, and the protector is good. And if there is a way of coming back from the dark, I'm sure the protector would make it available.
It'd be cool if you could meet the
Are you
protector,
sure?
wouldn't it?
Indeed. He says nothing. says but only amongst the otters would you find someone who truly wishes that.
Oh,
But
I'd
don't
really
you
like
think
to be the
someone with
protector.
all that power would hoard it for themselves?
Well, why would you say such a thing? Obviously, the protector is not hoarded its power. We live in a world full of wonders and good things.
I mean,
Would we even exist at all if the protector hoarded its power?
to be fair, you live in an area where the slightest thing the slightest screw up sends you into the dark. Doesn't that seem a little harsh?
That's not true. He says it's not the slightest thing. Usually it has to be pretty big. And it has to be something that one has, that having brought to somebody else, you have not received forgiveness.
I would think that one would be able to be forgiven once sent to the dark by atoning for themselves.
One would think so.
I don't know how you could atone for yourself if you are separated from the very person who could forgive you.
Okay, so that's the key. You have to be forgiven, and if the person who you wronged does not forgive you, then pretty much you're going to the dark.
But if you forgive those people in this,
wrong someone, but they die before they can forgive you.
Yes,
well,
but if you
then you're
fail
just
to
there.
forgive someone who asks you for forgiveness, you've also sinned.
That
So
makes sense.
what happens when somebody goes to?
What if in the question I made, they ran out of time before they could forgive?
This is why we have the day end ceremony.
Yep.
You
you
see, it all makes sense.
So what happens
Okay.
when somebody gets sent to the dark? Do they just like disappear? Like does some creature pick them up and take them somewhere to the dark?
No, it says as always, we get to the end of the day, and a sense of sleepiness falls upon you, and everyone shuts their eyes. And when we open our eyes, sometimes people are missing, very rarely, and it's a new day, and off we go,
Ah,
And you
Okay.
just
and we are
accept it.
refreshed,
Okay.
as if we
Ronan.
had fully slumbered.
Ronan, I've got an idea. Forgive
Oh.
Catface or whatever her name was. Catamaran,
Katora?
Catalonia, Catamora,
Katora.
Whatever.
Katora. Forgive Katora for shooting you and may see if she appears from the darkness.
I
Can-
hereby
can-
forgive.
but don't you have to
Katora for shooting me in the
sincerely
darkness.
do it, like for real?
Yeah,
You can't
sincerely
just
forgive
say
her.
it.
I sincerely, because you know how many times I've been shot at? I've already forgotten about it.
That's not
probably
an
true.
understatement.
Forgive your trespasses and those that have trespassed against you.
As a Catholic, Ronan hereby acknowledges that he has forgiven.
I mean, because
How do you say her name?
Kathora.
Katora.
Kathora.
Kathora.
Kathora. Okay. I hereby forgive Kathora. You know, I've been shot at so many times. If I kept a list of everyone that has shot at me, I'd be here all day. So I forgive her.
Mike
You got to
looks
do it
at
during the
you.
ceremony, I think.
Mike looks at
Oh.
you and says, and so I hereby absolve you of all your sins, nomine Patri, Filio, Spiritus Sanctus.
Ooh, I like
Amen.
Philo.
In nomine Patri et Spiritus Specto Sancta.
Et
Amen.
File Spiritu Sanctum.
Well, most priests mumble, so I mumble.
Well, I wasn't raised.
I can play dominoes better than you can.
I wasn't raised Catholic. I converted, and I don't know much of Latin except for the exorcism.
Very good. Well, Mike was raised Catholic.
You mean
he's
the Roman
Polish.
rite?
IRL, I meant. So I don't know much of Latin besides what I got from Supernatural.
Hi.
Spiritus omnis.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So
Satanic
we'll go to the ceremony, Bruce.
Cole,
Yeah,
you're gonna get
ooh,
Ronan
yay.
sent to the dark just for that.
Yes.
He's out of here.
Yeah. Hey, Cole, what does Mika Mika Parwastela mean?
Sailor.
Well,
Um,
no.
Twinkle,
Can I order
twinkle,
another
little
beer,
star.
please?
Hey, Bruce, say it again.
Mika Mika Parwastela.
What does that mean?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
most of the Latin I know is certain religious phrases, and of course, John Wilkes Booth's "Sic Semper Tyrannis."
Well, the the Romans spoke many other things besides that.
Well, yeah.
I
We don't
put
have
some
an
Latin in the
Esquerta.
chat, by the way.
She says that if you have anything on your heart that you think must be done, you should probably travel back to the bottom of the tower and meet with your chaperones and ask for forgiveness and clear your minds and hearts so that when the ceremony is done, you will remain here in the light.
Our chaperone got sent
But we don't
to
have
the
a
dark.
chaperone.
Yeah, we don't have a chaperone.
Okay.
She looks stunned by this. They all have looked stunned by this.
They got sent to the dark. We don't know what they did, but they got sent to the dark and they weren't forgiven.
I can already see where this is going, and I'll say in English, we disappear and reappear in the dark the same way we reappear here in the first place, and everybody's going to think it's because we sinned and we were sent to the dark.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
And
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
I can't think of
Petrova would
anything
be
else that
happier.
make sense.
I'm pretty sure Petrova would be more than happy to go back.
To the dark, yeah. More food.
There's a dragon there to challenge.
There you go. All right. Okay. So we attend the ceremony then.
Okay.
The
All right.
day's end ceremony.
Probably the most interesting thing about it for you guys is going to be at some point they're going to say, is there anyone here who wishes to ask for forgiveness and the person for which they need forgiveness is not here?
Shove Ronan
Yes.
forward.
Do it, Ronan. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, I will testify, or whatever it is that they what was it they say?
All right. All right. He says, step forward, newcomer Ottard. Speak your name and speak your sin and ask, and ask for forgiveness.
I offended. I offended someone.
What's your name?
I state your
My
name.
name is Ronan.
Okay.
And
what is your sin?
I offended someone to the point where it caused her to actually try to shoot me. And I wish to be forgiven by her, and I wish to forgive her for shooting me.
His sin, his loud
All
mouth.
right. Do you forgive her for shooting you?
Hubris.
Of course.
Okay. And then he says, who here will stand in for this person that has that shot Ronan?
I
Susan
push
And
Angelica
it
forward.
says, I will.
Oh,
I will be the proxy.
who?
And they come
who does
forward.
that?
Bruce, who says this?
It was just one of the otters. It's really just a
okay.
random person.
All right. Okay, cool.
And they step
Rando
forward and he says,
Calrissian.
I will be the proxy. He says, and this person is female.
Okay.
Steps forward.
How hot is she?
What?
That's
What?
really your thought here?
To determine when Ronan looks at her, how hot is she?
How hot is she?
She's a California 5, but a New Jersey
my
10.
character. I'm going to roleplay this.
She's actually just average. She's not especially hot, but she's not unattractive either.
Hot in Cleveland.
Okay.
And
So I
she's
just
not
looked at her
dressed in any clothing that would
Keep her vodka.
enhance
Elicit those thoughts.
the male gaze.
Or she
Okay,
is
so this-
plain.
She's not plain. She's average.
Okay.
To
all right.
women, she's
And she
plain.
looks at you
Right,
and she
yeah.
says, Ronan.
And I bow my head to her.
Says, what is my? She says, what is my name?
And I'm saying this out of character. Kathora, is it?
Kathora.
Okay.
Kathora.
Your name is what is it? Proxy name is Kathora.
My name is Kathora, and I attempted to do grievous harm to you, Ronan.
Well, she did do harm to him.
Is this right?
Yes. And I
Did I actually hurt you?
Yes.
Did she?
No.
Oh,
She
yes,
blew a
she
hole in your gut.
Yes. I remember the shooting, but I can't remember if I actually got injured. But now, yes.
Yeah, she
Was,
basically drilled. She hit you with a basically a very thin beam, and drilled right into your gut. You still have the scar and the wound for it, by the way.
That's why I'm doing this.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, yes.
She sees that and she covers her eyes and she says, "I am a wretched woman." He says, "I do not deserve to be in the light." He says, and then she looks at you. He says, "But you have forgiven me, and so
You may remain in the light.
you have forgiven me, and therefore purged my heart of the injury that you caused me. And so therefore, I also forgive you, Ronan, for that which you have done to cause me to do this violent act." He says,
And I bow my head.
I am ashamed that I have been brought to this point, and I promise you, Ronan, that the next time I see you, he says, I will give you a big hug, and I will thank you for lifting the burden from my heart. And as I am lifting the burden from your heart, and you can feel her hands on your chest, and it really feels like there's heat coming from her hands, and you feel better.
And blood
Somehow
rushes
this
part of my body.
ceremony actually makes you feel better about, and the confusion you feel toward Kathora, feels lighter than it did before.
Oh.
And I remember thinking in my head, maybe the shit they're talking about is real.
He says, may the protector continue to give you wisdom and guide your path.
I guess I'm looking at Jason.
That you may never fall into the dark.
And may you remain in the light, my good
Kathora.
lady? Fair lady, my good Kathora.
I accept, I accept your forgiveness, and I praise you for the kindness you've shown me. As she steps back, everyone's nodding.
Everyone's snapping their fingers.
Lighting their cigarette lighters, yes.
The
There you
Santa
go.
poetry slam, not happening, brother.
Yeah. There's a couple of people are just kind of rocking to the beat. That only they can hear. Yeah. So,
I can believe
anyway,
We all
that.
start singing. Bahu do re.
All right. And there's
God.
and
I
there's
need
a
to
little
watch
bit
that movie.
there's a little bit more of that, and then and by the way, is that at the beginning of this thing, they basically go out and bring out these cans that are full of weight, they're weights, okay, and they attach them to this contraption thing, and it basically starts turning wheels, and it starts spinning this can around, and as it does this, you notice that you get this solid image of the sun shining on that white fabric below you, and it stays there instead of just disappear. Usually, you just kind of see it like zip across the disc.
Surface.
But you actually see it staying in that position. They have, it's not, it's they've captured, that image and concentrated the light as they captured it down to a single small brilliant spot. So, and everyone is nodding and praying and giving thanks and looking at that spot.
Brilliant.
All praise to the light. All praise the protector. And then, and then they finish, and they go and they say, may this day be considered an offering to the protector, an acceptable offering, and may our service continue in the next. Everyone stops. They close their eyes, and you feel this sense fall upon you, this almost hypnotic quality that makes you want to do it. So everyone give me a spirit check.
All right.
Okay. Hold on.
And something similar to this, by the way, is happening
10.
down with the dragon and
I was
everybody
gonna
else
say-
downstairs.
I was saying,
Those-
should I roll for Angel also? Angel and
Sure.
Dawn? Okay.
4.
Right.
So give
Mike?
me a second.
Hold on.
And
4.
7 for Susan.
All right.
All right. 1 second.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody who rolled less than a 6, your eyes shut.
Okay.
I rolled
Okay.
a 6.
Well, I guess my eyes shut.
Mike's
Yeah,
eyes
my eyes
shut.
shut. Yeah.
Okay. Those of you who rolled a 6 or better, you don't have to shut your eyes, do you?
I will. What the hell?
Okay. Is there anybody who does not shut their eyes?
Susan won't.
Okay. Susan, you see a terrifying sight. It's like a wall of blackness in whatever direction you're looking suddenly races at you at it seems like the speed of light, and just engulfs you, and you are falling. Everyone is falling.
Not
Everyone?
again.
Everyone is falling. Yes.
Look out
And there's
below.
this huge clap of thunder, and this wave of wet just sluices all over you, and you crash to the ground. Everybody
Oh,
give
no,
me
not again.
everybody give me a vigor check.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
Is the
That's really wild.
5.
D10.
I mean, I sort of expected we get transported here.
Oh, people.
7. I mean, 8.
13. Right.
6 plus 2.
Okay. 13 for Mike, 5 for Susan.
Okay. All right. So no one failed the roll?
Yeah.
I rolled a 5. I don't know if that's a failure or not.
Well, 4 would be the check
Oh.
normally, unless I tell you differently.
All right.
All right. So
Angelica.
you
No.
you all basically hit the ground, the hard, rocky ground, and just get tossed over it, scraping, getting abrasions, getting cuts, and things like that until but you stop almost instantly. Okay, it's like it's like, and you guys basically just hurled through the air. There was no real. I mean, there was a sense of force. I mean, it's like you were moving very fast, and then you slowed down, and then you hit the ground.
Are we in somewhere dark?
You're in a very dark place. There.
We're in the
Okay,
dark.
so I get to do this.
To you,
Allow
right
me
next
to
to you, All right, go ahead.
I'm going to do this thing from Atlantis. I strike a match and go, all right, who's not dead? Sound
Okay.
off.
You're
In the
out.
rain.
Your match does not light in this incredible windstorm, rainstorm, and you are right next to this black column that should be very familiar to you, okay? The top of which is bursting with brilliant light, white light that seems to be striking at it from the sky.
Oh,
Huh.
shit.
Well, what a quinky dink.
And
That's
you realize, and you now realize, both you guys realize that you have been hurled off. These discs do not exist. The disc you are standing on doesn't exist in the dark, and you went hurling through the sky, and then landed on the ground. But apparently, did not. It didn't hurt you, other than just some mild abrasions. Okay.
So, do we feel
Angel,
that? Okay, go ahead.
yeah, Angel, you suddenly hear a very concerned, query from Dom, who, are you right? As he basically, is throwing his wings over top of you and trying to shelter you, because you were at this ceremony and it's all gone and there's nothing but rock, and lightning and I mean there is light. It's all coming from the top of the tower. Okay.
Hey, we're finally back. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Well,
All right. So Jason, what did you want to say?
Do we feel that the spinning dishes were in the same position as the tower?
Yes. You
Uh-huh.
feel that this tower, the tower that held the spinning discs known as the City of Wiz, is the exact same tower as was here.
Okay.
The difference is that tower was taller. This tower is shorter, but it's the same width,
Okay.
which could mean that maybe it's deeper underground in this world, this in the dark, than it is in the light. It's hard to say.
Interesting.
Because this one, was about 200 foot tall, and in the other one, it was 500 foot tall.
Uh-huh.
So that's a
Are
considerable
there any
difference.
steps on this tower?
Are there what? There's
Are there
nothing
any
on this tower. It's completely completely. It's questionable whether you can see it at all in this darkness, but
We just see this glowing spot on top.
yeah, there's this basically. It's like no lightning is like coming. This constant coruscating of light and crackling is coming down and hitting the top of it. Okay, and racing down the sides of it. So yeah, I guess you can see something. Okay, and then zooming out by you in a number of directions.
Tesla,
Like-
eat your heart out.
So yeah,
It's a Tesla coil.
Tesla.
and then a moment later, the lightning stops, and it's just darkness, and the wind blowing, and the rain falling.
Can I see the outline of the
Tower.
portal?
No, you're too far down to see that.
Okay.
I imagine so.
Well, you said it's a couple hundred feet.
Well, first of all, you have to be within 100 feet to see it at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you're definitely at least
More than
twice
100
that
feet away.
distance. So,
Okay.
right.
So you
And
just hear a whoop
of course, once that energy discharge stops, there's nothing except darkness and mist and wind, and like less than a minute later, the rain stops
Yeah.
and there's nothing but fog.
Ah.
And you just hear a
And
whoop of
rain.
excitement coming from
And all
from
around
Angela.
you, the water is just flowing around and all over, and you're drenched, and the ground isn't really soaking it in quickly because it's so hard pan packed. It's the same rocky ground that you knew from before. It's just like the water's just like pooled all over.
Now, the tower, Bruce, you said it's sort of like the other tower, except for the height. But is this the same tower that we appeared in this world on?
As far as you know, unless there's another one of these somewhere else.
I'm checking in with Dom. And Dom, you all right there, buddy?
He says, I do not know. He says, I feel very disquieted.
Rather be in the dark than the light.
He says, but at
Personal
least
opinion.
this time, I'm on the ground.
Yes.
Not my favorite place, but at least I wasn't. I'm not doing a belly flop onto
Yeah.
jagged rocks. And he says, but beware, lady. He says there may be some of those creatures that fired upon us the last time.
And if that's so, then you can eat to your heart's content.
Buffet is open.
If they come, that is.
Show me the buffet.
Well,
All right. He basically
looks like
grabs
we're back
you
where we started.
and scoops his hand underneath you, Angel, and tosses you up onto his back. It says, "Be ready." He says, "We may have to fly in an instant. At least now I know how to do some of that."
Okay.
Just pat. Yeah, dragon.
Can you guys make it back to the top of the tower? Do you think?
Yeah, your communication devices, by the way, are working fine. You haven't suffered any loss of power or anything like that.
Well, that is good.
Do you think you can make it up to the top of the tower, Dom?
With or without crushing somebody?
Well, I'm just asking you, do you think he can actually fly up to the top of the tower? It's 200 feet up or so.
I thought it was 500.
No, that was the other tower is 500.
Oh,
this one's lower.
okay.
It's a smaller one.
Or
He's not sure. He's not sure he can get to that height without losing control.
He's not sure about that.
Fair enough. Just curious.
If you're willing to try, then by all means that's on you. But I'm not gonna make you try.
Well, he doesn't want to risk you. Like I said, that one time he almost landed on top of you. He really actually scared him a lot.
Yeah, that's the
So
same.
if you die, he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
Yes,
I committed suicide by landing upside down on my rider.
that's the
Hate when that happens.
that's a way to go.
Okay.
Apparently, you are back in the dark.
Should we try to find the blue wizard again to see if we can get our shit back?
Yeah.
Well,
By the way,
looks like
Ronan,
shit.
you still feel this warm feeling in your chest,
Warm and
and those
fuzzy.
two little hands that were pressed against it. It still feels that you still have that warm feeling, even though you're drenched in freezing. Well, in what in with rain, and you feel like you're getting colder by the second.
Ooh.
But that area feels nice and warm.
And his heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Another part. And another part got really, really rigor mortis.
No, that was weak and flaccid still.
Yeah, say they got ways of dealing with that. Yeah.
I got a pill for that.
I got a machine for that.
Ah.
Okay. What is Kaitlin doing that causes her screen to flash, 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 flash?
I don't
I
know.
could
It's not
tell you
doing it
that
to
I
me
have to
right
tell you
now.
that.
It's the light. It's the light. It's just
No,
in my
I meant
hand.
it's your when you talk, the outline of your image turns blue, and yours was going blue, 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 blue.
Constant little sounds going above my head.
Yeah, I don't see that. I see that happening with
Well,
you.
if you
With you, Jason, I see a little blue line all the way around your area.
yeah.
Maybe it happens if you have a background.
No.
Kaitlin doesn't have a
Well,
background, so I
I
don't know
don't
why.
I don't see one on Cole's.
Because he's not
Well, he's
talking.
not saying anything.
He's got a background.
See, I see the line around him
Yeah.
now when he starts
Yeah,
talking.
like that. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Well,
No,
now
I
it's
see
Mike
lines
that's
around.
flickering.
I see
I'm
lines around
flickering,
everybody when they
holy
talk.
cow.
I don't see that at all, Mike. All
Yeah, it
right.
went away.
Anyways, so you guys going to do anything? Because there's a really good chance that, well, I don't know. I mean, there was a really, the last time there was a lot of activity about certain people trying to kill you. This
Well,
may
that's
not
because we're
happen this time
broadcasting
because
our location.
you haven't done anything currently to broadcast your location.
Okay.
But you guys are not together. I mean, Angel and Dom don't know where you are.
Okay.
You guys
I
went
turned on my
flying
locator
off in
beacon.
some direction, and
Angel?
you guys are mostly together.
Angel,
Yes.
can you find us?
Can I hear them through the comms? Are they that close?
Yeah, but how's
Marco.
that going to help? You guys could like turn on your homing beacons, and then somebody might be able to find each other.
Let's try
Well,
that.
one person turn on their homing beacon.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'll turn on my homing beacon. Marco.
Angel into the comms. Polo.
That
All
works.
right. Yes, you can definitely pick up his signal.
All right, Dom, let's go.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
Dom.
go in that direction.
Dom leaps forward and gets a little bit of air, not much, and just kind of glides over the ground at a fairly rapid clip. Is faster.
Nice.
Of course, you can't see the ground. Well, actually, you can. Again, we've talked about this. You have access to his sight, and everything around him is currently hard to see. It's kind of like looking at the top of the ocean with like wave and white caps and things like that. It's kind of a topo map because he's just seeing the because of the rain and the fog, everything has a lot of similarities in color, in temperature. So his thermal sense isn't really picking it up too well. But and there is no external light that's helping him, so not even starlight, so he doesn't have that benefit. But it's kind of weird. It's like I say, it's like flying over a troubled sea, as you can see him basically staying like this, and every and every once in a while you feel yourself being jerked forward again, and you rise up a little bit, and keep going, and you can feel him fighting, the
gravity.
well, not fighting the fact that he's having to keep his wings in. He wants to reach his arms out and make a big, normal flapping of his wings, but he knows that if he does that, he's going to go immediately out of control. So he's trying to keep his wings in and just use his fingertips, to guide, the air and stay in the air, which is like, it's like really stupid. I mean, it'd be like assuming that, if you could like open up your raincoat and fly in the wind. Yeah.
It's stupid, but effective.
It's stupid, but it's working. So he's like, yeah. So he's fighting his own natural instincts to do this, which basically you should give him a lot of props for that, because it shows you how how intelligent this dragon actually is.
Never doubted his intelligence for a second.
Well, I don't know. When he first started, he seemed like pretty much of a doofus.
He was a pain in the ass.
You must be getting that from you.
Aha.
He was, because he also channels you. That's not an inaccurate statement. All right, so so suddenly, you feel this whoosh sound and
Well, he can see us just fine, can't he?
wet, damp rain, air basically washes over you like an eddy.
So he can see us though, right? Because we produce heat.
Yeah, you guys are easy to see, but still, you're in a fog, and that helps mask it. So you really, you can't see you from further away than probably 50 feet.
Okay.
And so basically Angel is saying, right, a little more right, a little more left,
Dale, dale,
On.
dale.
stay on target, stay on target.
Don't get distracted here. Please
I was
don't
giving a
get
Star
distracted.
Wars reference, but whatever.
It's like that. It's like over to the right, or right there. Mark it.
Anyways. So anyways, suddenly, and he puts his feet down, and basically just grabs at the ground and literally stops instantly. And you feel like you should be just hurled against the restraining straps of your seat, Angel. But instead you just stop. And it's fine.
Nice.
And you feel yourself settle back into your seat more firmly afterwards.
This is the dark that I liked. All right, come on.
All right.
Hello.
It's 10
darkness,
o'clock,
my
guys. Do
friend.
you have any immediate plans, or should we call it here?
I have
And
no
we can
immediate plans.
we can keep going.
Yeah, let's
I
call
got-
I mean,
I gotta
until
be
we
up in
run
8
into
hours.
something that would take a lot of time to resolve.
What did you just say, Cole?
I'm not sure what to do now. I think we have more questions now than we had before.
Well, that's the essence of
Well,
this game.
I know we
The only answer we have is that there is a light.
I know we wanted to get our stuff back, but it may be
Well-
hard to.
Yeah, what, sneak back into the
Yeah,
Blue
that's what I'm
Wizard's
saying. It
tower?
may be
Yeah,
hard
okay.
to do so.
I've written that off the minute we left.
Next time we put all of our shit on the dragon.
That's not a
Yep.
bad idea.
Let's
He's got-
ride the
he's
dragon
got the-
before we
he's
do
got
that.
the-
'Cause I've
the
always
acreage
Ronan has
for it.
always wanted to ride a dragon.
This is
Ronan
your
has,
golden opportunity.
Ronan has always
Like,
wanted to
just
ride a
attach
Sure,
dragon.
it.
yeah.
Like attach a leash to it and just go, like say he loses his job with you guys and he has to go get a real job. And it's like, hey, is that Ronan? Is that a fucking dragon? To assert dominance.
Is Ronan saying that in character?
Yes, I want to ride a dragon. Ronan says.
You take my dragon, I'm gonna let him eat you. But
Can I
you can't.
borrow
But you
your
can't.
dragon?
You cannot borrow my dragon.
Joyriding on a dragon.
Can I take a ride on your dragon with you supervising?
That I will let. But you try taking him, I will shove you down his mouth myself.
Well, you could come with me as I show up to work to establish dominance with the dragon.
Not happening.
Can't you just humor him even for a moment? Like, just be, like sarcastic, like, sure.
Ronan, if you do that, we'll have to go back to base and say, we need another Ronan.
Again.
Then
That's actually an actual statement. We need another masterless samurai.
Need
Yeah.
another Timmy.
If you haven't figured this out by now, Cole,
Can't
Angel
you tell that
Patrol
Ronan is just excited about the fact that we have a dragon?
yeah, Angel Petrova's sense of humor is not as it was.
Ninja Dragon Samurais from Planet X.
Aha.
Dragon.
No, I don't think Planet X sells dragon stuff.
Oh, maybe it's just pirates. Ninja Pirate Dragon.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking of there's a smoke shop, I'm sorry, that I go to named Planet X. I'm sorry.
Anyway, get your ass up here, Ronan. I'm holding my hand out for him.
Okay. Goodbye, dragon.
Why are you saying goodbye to the dragon?
He
Because I
doesn't
didn't
know.
get to ride him.
I said get
She
your
was
ass
offering
up
you.
here, and I'm holding my hand out for you.
Oh.
Get
You
up on the
asked-
dragon.
How
You
did
Get
asked-
up on this.
Hey, what did you name your dragon?
His name is Dom, and I didn't name him. He named himself.
Name it again?
Dom.
Dom.
Or
Okay.
is mostly because I accidentally kept
The
mostly because I as
correct name
player
is Dominus.
Indominus that I kept calling him on.
Indominus. As
That's
in
right.
indomitable.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all
In other
because
words,
I
I bow my head to no one.
no one
Pretty
except a
much
little
true.
to nobody except a little red little red-headed dragon rider named Angel.
Well, that's like bowing your head to yourself. I mean, it's
Pretty
you're
much.
you're a symbiosis with each other.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's like bowing your head to your wife. It's you're one flesh. It's not. It's okay.
Your head to your wife. Why would you do that?
You should see their kids.
You're
They're
obviously
ugly as
not
sin.
married.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. You'll learn if you stay in a relationship, sir.
Yes.
called
Sometimes
nodding
you
your
gotta
head and
fight.
smiling.
Sometimes you gotta stand and fight.
Just remember, yes, dear.
Yes.
You'll find that
That's-
those
Y'all,
are overshadowed greatly by the other times.
Yep.
That's-
Always remember, happy life, happy wife. No,
Well,
happy wife, happy life.
I don't know about that.
I
Always
don't know
remember
about that either.
besides, that's more for Bruce's generation. Ours is my generation is we're a partnership. We're equals.
Hate to break this to you, but my wife and I have been a partnership for
Okay, then you are the
over
outlier.
30 years.
Then you are the outlier.
Well,
No, not necessarily. It just
I
remember
take it-
that whatever's
I take it the
hers,
game is over.
whatever's yours is hers, and whatever's hers is hers. So
I
You
made
are
my
what you
statement.
eat.
So.
you know,
Where
sharks
does
don't eat
Ronan?
lawyers,
Where
right?
does Ronan lead us?
Okay. Ronan leads you in a particular direction, and you guys travel for a ways. And all right, and when suddenly
Uh-oh.
yellow bursts of light start firing into your midst.
Ugh.
Pew, 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 pew. And there's explosions of heat all around you, and you hear someone says in the name of Lysiria, the Dragon Queen. He says, throw down any weapons you have and surrender, or we will slay you.
Susan says in a clear,
I
normal
can't
voice.
throw down my hands and my arms.
Susan says in a clear, normal voice, hold your fire. We are emissaries of the White Wizard.
Okay.
What does the dragon think of when they say Dragon Queen?
Can you read minds?
I don't know.
No, but he can talk.
He could.
Does he say anything?
He's
Says I didn't vote for her.
he says first of all he says, I really wish I had my dragon fire. And B
I didn't vote for
her. He says
That's as good as the grenade up the ass.
he says to Angel, I think I can take him.
Hold off on a minute here.
He says I took him last time, I can take him this time.
Yeah, you did it once, you'll do it again.
Angel, what is your response?
I say hold off for just a minute. Let's see what these guys want first. Then I'll let you go at. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Go grape shit.
All right. Somebody stands up from behind cover,
Okay.
wearing this very Tronish-like outfit you've seen similar to this in the Blue Wizard, except
Okay.
that all the lines are yellow.
Yellow
Alright.
Wizard.
I'm sorry, orange. They're all orange.
Orange
They
Wizard?
glow brightly.
All right. Okay. Very good.
And he walks forward. He says, "Who speaks for a wizard here?"
I am Susan. I speak for the White Wizard.
Prove it.
Very well.
Pull out a flashlight. The white light.
All right. Is he is he in range? Okay. Gonna have to use superpowers.
He walks
now.
up to you. Yeah, he's walking up to you, and you can
Okay.
see that there is a halo of yellowish light around him.
All right. Okay, I'll do it that way. That's fine. Okay. He walks up to Susan.
Yeah.
Okay. I reach out and said, the white wizard has given me strength beyond what a normal woman's frame could have. And I grab him by his shirt and I lift him over my head.
What?
Okay.
Thinking, I hope this works.
I think they all know the gravity here, but
Okay. Ooh.
Do you want me to make a persuasion check?
No.
Okay.
He basically
Shits his pants.
he basically kicks down, hits you on your shoulder,
Shit.
does a backflip.
Holy criminy.
About, basically about 10, 15 feet into the air, and comes and basically comes down and lands very gently. Okay, you need to give me an agility check to see if you got knocked down by that.
Copy that.
In other words, he broke free. He rolled a 17 fighting check against you.
I rolled a 10 on my agility check.
Okay, well you should be able. You're surprised, but you stagger back but maintain your feet.
All right.
Your footing.
That was impressive.
He says, he looks at you and he says, he says, yeah, that was unexpected. What? You are very strong, but I have met, but the monstrous creatures of the Green Wizard are just as strong.
Okay.
So
Do they
he
even
looks at
see
you
our
and he
dragon?
says, "What?" He says, "What?" He says, "If you have proof that you are an agent of a so-called white wizard, show it to me now, or die."
All right. I'm using mind reading.
Okay.
Okay. Come on.
Think of your favorite
Okay.
color.
4.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I read his name. I read his name.
His name. Okay.
His name.
Try again. His name is Odin.
Your name is Odin, is it not?
Some murmuring coming from it. He says, "Yes, my name is Odin." He says, "How do you know this?"
I have the ability to read your mind. Another power granted me by the White Wizard.
Ooh.
Again, thinking, shit, I hope this works.
Okay. He says, that's a very useful skill to have.
Thank you. It wasn't easy to get it either.
Is our dragon visible?
Yes, he's quite visible.
Why wouldn't he be?
One of the reasons they ambushed you is that they saw him.
Hey.
All right, and he looks at you and he's like I said, he's got this glowing eye face plate and things like that with glowing yellow around the eyes, and he says, if you can read my mind, then
What number am I thinking of?
who was the last wizard that you spoke to?
That I personally
spoke to, or he spoke to?
That you spoke to. Is that correct, Odin? You want to know the last wizard that you, Odin, spoke to? Is that correct?
You spoke to.
that I, Susan, have spoken to.
Yeah,
The blue one.
He's gonna read your mind.
he's
Great.
Yeah.
he's getting a little irritated.
I'm sorry. Yeah, oy vey. Yeah, okay. All right. The last wizard I spoke to was the blue wizard.
Joe.
Yeah, you get this
I know
this
that name.
unverbalized sensation as he wished he could spit on the ground, but his helmet gets in the way.
All right. Very good.
He obviously he doesn't like the blue wizard.
One would think
He looks
so.
at you and he says I am one of the roaming search teams who have been looking for a group of people fresh from the light who claim to be as you say, representatives of a strange wizard.
I would
That would
say
be
you have
us.
found them. That would be us.
He
Ding,
says,
ding, ding, ding.
then submit yourselves to us now, and we will take you to see our queen, for she has many questions.
Okay.
If you do not do this, then we will destroy you utterly right now.
Very well. We will
I
submit.
don't need any cow nipples.
We will submit to your request.
So we're just going to accept that threat?
Okay, well, first of
Yes.
all, is that this was all between your mind and her mind.
Oh,
So
I
he's
didn't know we
sta-
were
he's-
going. I didn't
he-
know. I thought this was all out loud. Excuse me.
No, this was all in your mind
Oh, this
because
is
you were reading his
telepathy.
mind. So there, I'm assuming you were
Okay, all right,
transmitting
okay,
as well.
all right, okay,
Were
very
you
good,
only
all right.
reading his mind?
I didn't activate my telepathy ability. I
Oh,
just did
okay.
mind
Then yes,
reading.
this was all verbally then.
Okay, that's
He's-
verbal. Okay.
Yeah, he's speaking through his mask.
Okay.
So that's one of the
sounds
reasons
good.
he's close to you.
All righty. Okay. So yeah. So we say okay.
All right then.
He looks at you and he says, you do not appear to have any manifestation of another of your wizard or any other wizard. Why is that?
Blue Wizard stole it all.
They stole?
That's a good
So
answer.
we don't have
Blue
anything.
wizard stole it all.
That is
Yep.
true. The blue wizard
They're
stole all our
bloody
stole
thieves.
it.
All right. Well, that's I guess that's understandable then. All right.
I mean, all I got is this video of what we took over on the light side. So
I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. So his men will surround you, and he'll say, you seem to be the leader to Susan. Come with me.
Thank you.
Lead your people behind
All
me.
right.
Oh,
lead
us, please, oh great master.
Okay, let's
like,
go.
"You're
Let's go,
pushing."
everybody.
And he starts walking ahead of you with his large, heavy gun out. Now, keep in mind the fact that Kithora used a pistol on
Ronan?
on Ronan. He's got something that looks considerably heavier. Now, maybe
Right.
the only difference is how much battery storage it has, so to speak, and maybe the output is the same, or maybe it's quite a bit more. It's hard to tell.
Okay. All right.
These people look like they're loaded, ready for war.
To blow things up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Hell yeah.
And they start, they start basically running.
Oh, they're okay. All right. Run, I guess.
Okay. And as when they start moving, they seem to be somewhat awkward, but then as they start running, they become much more agile and
Coordinated.
you start making those gazelle type leaps. Unless, of course, you guys don't keep up, in which case they'll slow down.
Okay. I'll try to keep up, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't run as fast as I used to, but
I'm
I
gonna
can still go
bound.
okay.
Bound.
Bound.
Yeah.
Bound.
Well, you find it to your surprise that it's actually easier to run than it is to walk.
Oh, okay.
That you actually get a lot of clearance from the ground, by, as you say, by bounding, and when you land, it's not heavy. So it's a very light step you seem to have. Shut up, dog.
Yes,
Does that happen no matter what direction we're going in?
Well, it's happening in the direction you are going in, so I don't know how to answer your question otherwise.
Okay, good.
I guess it didn't happen to us before then when we were.
Well, you didn't do a lot of running around before.
Okay.
I mean, I specifically asked you many times, and you said, no, we're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm saying is that it's and it's nice because I mean, I don't know how much equipment you're carrying, not much it seems, but
Darn little.
I'm just saying is that you seem to be fairly light of foot,
Okay.
and because of this, and but Dom appreciates it, as he said, because he's not even he's keeping his wings in, and he's just basically just kind of
Loping along.
Well, I don't know. Let's say he's
gliding, kind of.
Trotting.
Yeah, he's just trotting. Yeah, he just
okay.
And he's basically up on his back legs.
Oh wow,
that's a sight.
Kind of
running like a lizard.
Running like a lizard. Running like a gecko.
Running like Merlin. Yeah.
Running like a gecko with his
Imagine
wings,
that running at
his
you
wings
IRL.
tucked in. Yeah, with that big long serpentine neck of his.
Oh, fun.
Looking around. You have to be careful about the looking around though.
So it kind of looks like
he looks too far to one side. It's like they tell you when you learn how to drive. Your car will go wherever you look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I look at the sky, my car will go there.
Kitty, kitty, bang, bang.
Hypothetically, there. Cole.
But your soul might after you crash.
Pretty much. Yeah. There you go.
It's like, God, I'm sorry, but did you see that ass?
So that means Angel Petrova is basically horizontal if Dom's on his back legs.
And Ronan.
Oh, Ronan too, yeah. He's gripping on tight, yeah.
Unless Ronan lets go, he'll be fine, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I go.
All right. So after a lengthy journey of at least about an hour, during which it seems just like a light walk to you, even though you've been clearly moving very fast over the ground and things like that. It's almost comically easy. Ahead of you see rising up an immense yellow glow. It seems to stretch to the right and to the left a lot more than the blue one did.
Does this make me look jaundiced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it's definitely an orangish.
There you go. All right.
And you and also as you go along, you pick up a couple more teams of these guys.
Oh wow.
So now you have probably about 50 of these guys pacing you as you go along.
I didn't realize we were so dangerous.
We were that wanted. We were marked for death by almost all of the wizards.
Fun.
Hey, we touched the tower.
We won't mention that this time.
Yeah.
Please.
Can't believe you talked me into this.
Or any, I know.
Hey,
bad.
No one forced you to come.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Susan, we need your help to find the dragon. You're the only one that's been there. Okay,
I didn't do that. I didn't even go.
I know you didn't do that.
You could have said
it was Nicholas and Angelica that did it. Jeez.
All right. You eventually start running down this opening. You realize there's an immense opening in the ground. It's like you're going down a slope. It's almost like you're going inside of a crater. Okay, and you start going down, and the thing just basically, you can't see. There's no sun in the sky or things like that, but you see all this orange around. You see essentially a hole in the orange, and you're going in, and it's on the ceiling above you, probably good 100 feet up, and
right.
you're just going down this gritty, gravelly path that's very large, and you start seeing strange creatures all around you. Not just guys in armor, but huge, almost inhuman man beasts and such. Some of them with vestigial wings. Some of them are just like tall, almost like Efreet-looking creatures.
Wow.
Okay, with glowing eyes and huge clawed fingers, and who are standing around, looking at you. You hear the sound. You begin to hear the sound of screeching and roaring, and you look to your left, and you see a large area that is illuminated in reddish yellowish light. Orangish light, and inside of it you see a vast array of beast-like creatures that are engaging in what looks to be gladiatorial combat with each other, and some of them using weapons, some of them using just their huge jaws and claws to rend at each other.
Yikes.
Huh.
It's in some ways very much a vision of hell, but and in comparisons, in some cases you can see, that there are small figures of some of these, like I said, these glowing orange soldiers that seem to be like maybe a tenth of their size. So these things are, rivaling the size of Dawn.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Dom looks at him and says, "They're all rubbish." He says, I bet not one of them can fly properly.
Well, neither can you at the moment, Dom.
I bet
Yeah.
none of them are as good as you, brother.
Right.
The dragon again.
And right after that, one of them turns to another one and breathes this huge boiling column of orange flame that washes over the other one and just it just peels back its flesh, burning it and literally searing it.
Yeah.
Dom goes, really want my flame back.
Well, if they have flame, maybe you can get some flame here.
Maybe you can.
Hypothetically.
Maybe there's a pilot light you can hook up to.
Yeah. Maybe there's an energy source that he can regenerate his power.
Yeah.
If if the head of this place is truly the Dragon Queen, she'd be the one to talk to about that.
Mm-hmm.
She's the Dragon Queen, Dragin, dragon.
Right.
Stop trying.
It seems like you're going ever further downward, and you realize,
or it's a guy in a dress.
You realize that unlike the Blue Fortress, this one seems to be inverted. That probably the lower you go, the more is you'll find her at the lowest point.
Okay, this can be bad for us if we get transported to the other side and there's just ground underground there.
Well,
he's not wrong.
We'll find out.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so do we get to the fortress eventually?
Yes.
Eventually.
Very good.
Eventually, you end up in what appears to be a solid rock wall, at least 100 foot tall, glowing orange, with crackling energy, coming down from the surface, lighting up everything. Like I said, there's the temperature, is a balmy, at least like a balmy close to probably 100 degrees here.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
See these
Oh,
crackling
yeah.
pillars that are just producing
Uh,
immense
oh,
amounts of
So
heat.
it's like Florida in summertime,
Yeah,
just at night.
yeah.
Oh,
Great.
man, awful,
Yeah.
terrible.
But there's
I
I
got
do not
say,
also,
like it at all.
but there's
I'll take
also
off
these,
my environmental suit because I don't want to
Yeah.
sweat in it.
yeah.
You're still
But there's
wearing
all-
that?
Hell yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
Bruce.
actually, I took it off while we were walking around in the nice, comfy area, and rolled it up and just like kind of made a little backpack for it. So
Oh, okay.
All right.
yeah, so I guess I'm not. I'm soaking wet still.
Okay, very good.
I'm just steaming now.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good. Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
French fried Jason. Okay, here he is. Yeah.
Or like poached.
Poached
Poached
Jason.
Ew.
Jason, yes.
All right. Okay. So, does anyone come out? The guards go away. Anyone come out to greet us?
No, the guards basically stay with you, but
All right.
over there with that 100-foot tall wall thingy, okay,
Yeah.
a section of it pushes out, and a section of it rotates like two giant eyes.
Wow.
Okay, and as it does that, a space in between opens up, as if they're not actually round, they're more oblong. So as they rotate, a space becomes available, becomes
Okay.
exposed. Okay, and walking out of that are these two, you know,
Bless you.
enormous, monstrous, dragonish creatures that are more like, dragish humanoids. You might even consider them to be like dragonborn, except that they're 20-foot tall. And then,
Awesome.
and then between them is a woman, dressed in basically glowing scales of orange, and she's being carried by the two of them on basically a swinging dais.
All right.
And they bring forward, they set her down on the edge of the of that projection, and she stands there, and she sits there, and she looks out, and she says, "Show me the power of the White Wizard, for only power speaks here."
I pick up my cell phone, my tablet, or whatever you want to call it, and I hit play, and I show the fields of us walking through the day side, and then the forest, and that should be, that's what I do.
That is the power of the White Wizard.
The grass
Okay.
blowing in the breeze.
One of the
The
guys that's
cows.
down there with you waves his hand, and somebody wearing a glowing orange lattice of metal basically falls off of a wall and flies down to you and grabs that thing from your hands. Are you going to let go of it?
No.
Oh no.
Okay,
Drag him
lifts
with.
it and you. Okay, give me a strength check.
Well, we always knew one of us would be abducted. Just
There you
didn't
go.
realize
I've
it'd be-
already been there, done
This is
that.
not me.
Help, I'm being oppressed.
Mm. Looks
I got
like
an
we need
8.
A what?
Very
An
nice.
8.
Good. Good. So you're holding on to this thing for dear life. The good thing is that you're being flown up to her very rapidly, and so it doesn't seem like you're barely holding on. It just seems like you've got a good grip, and you're just kind of flying behind it.
I'm
Whee!
going with the flow.
Gravity
Yeah.
is weird.
And it goes up and basically goes up and looks at you. And you probably can't see this. It looks down at you doing this, and just keeps going, and goes up and lands, and holds it up in front of him. Okay, and she says, "You can let it go." Letting
Okay.
you stand there and she says, "Was there something on this thing you wanted me to see?"
Yeah, this. I hit the button.
Oh, replay, the little backward thing.
Aha.
Replay.
Starring, and she looks at this thing and she says, "It's amazing. It has all the colors of blue and orange and green and even and yellow." He says, "What kind of a place is this?
This is the light.
The white.
You have been in the light?
Oh yeah.
Where
I come
is?
from the light.
Are you trying to tell me that the White Wizard is in the light?"
Of course the white wizard's in the light. White creates all the other colors.
I thought that was. Nope, nope, nope,
I
nope.
don't
Just
say
keep your
anything.
mouth shut.
All the other colors
At this
mixed
moment.
together creates black. The absence of white is black. Of light is black. So
I thought that was because of how the sun reflects.
Nope.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Nope.
Cool.
It's the general property of light.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I'm more of a history major than a science buff.
I'm not much of a
I
science
do
buff
both.
either.
All right. So what's her reaction then?
Her reaction is she's kind of dumbfounded by what you're saying, but then she just kind of shakes it off and flips her hair back, and this big mane, and looks at you and she says, "It doesn't matter if your White Wizard has the yellow colors. Orange is the only one that matters."
Okay. Says you. I mean,
Yeah. She looks at you, she says,
I'm not
she
going to
says-
argue with you. I mean,
yeah, he says, "You are lucky that I found you first."
second.
Oh jeez.
For you are being hunted by all the wizards. I hear that the blue wizard somehow lost track of you.
Yeah, we kind of, basically ditched that scene.
Hmm.
The
We went
power
back
of
to
the
the
white.
light.
The power of the White Wizard was able to rescue us from the Blue Wizard.
Yeah, he brought us back. Said, nah,
Really?
this guy doesn't
I
deserve it."
I would like to see more of this power of the White Wizard.
Me too.
Or this is a curiosity. This is amazing to see this. I'm not sure I understand what I'm seeing.
Well, the Blue Wizard took all of our stuff, so
Yes, all of
he
the
hoarded all of our things. So
yes.
Says it's strange that the White Wizard was not able to allow you to protect yourself.
well, it's more a
And by the
matter
way,
of
this is booming out over this area, like her voice
wow.
is being
Can you turn down
amplified,
the
just like
reverb
the
a
Blue
little bit?
Wizard always
We're back
was
to this now.
amplifying his voice.
Is it only her
Huh?
side of the conversation that's booming out?
Yes,
Oh.
actually, yeah.
Can we
At
turn
which
down
point
the
Dom says, "Well, I haven't been given a chance to show the power of the White Wizard."
I look at Dom and say, "Go to that voodoo that you do so well."
The voodoo that you do.
All right. So we watched we allow Dom to demonstrate the great power of the White Wizard.
I'm not stopping him at this point. Dragon said, "Dragon is hungry. Angel is afraid when
Oh.
Dom is hungry." So
He says, I challenge Dom, indomitable, challenge your greatest warrior. For I am the greatest warrior of the White Wizard."
go Dragon.
Can't argue with that.
He's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's
I wouldn't argue with that either.
And she says, interesting. You haven't even seen my greatest warrior. Dom says, it matters not, for I am indomitable.
I'm hungry.
He's overconfident.
And he's hungry. He's
He's-
really
he's
hungry.
delusional.
Hungry.
He really wants leg of monster to chew on.
Yeah.
Status data, still perfect and humble, Captain.
She says, you will have your battle. For I am also interested to see the power of the White Wizard. Let us go, therefore, to the Colosseum.
Yay.
At which point she basically looks at the other two. They pick her up and they carry her back to the thing, and the thing closes down. The guy that picked you up in the first place basically just grabs you by the back of your uniform and flies you. This time flies you, dangling, not by your own arms, back to your group, and says,
All right.
he says, your guards will lead you to the Colosseum.
All right. That looks
says-
like a good stopping point, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.